and on your
Is,
Twitter, like
is
is
this
this
is this worse? Is this worse than telling people that they should be put to death
this
for
guy? No, no, we don't condone any. Look, you're
for
childish,
for
No,
leaving
childish.
for
and
leaving their faith?
you're complaining about insulting, and then you're doing something
Is
which is
this
insulting.
is this
That
worse?
doesn't hurt us, mate.
Childish.
See that you're
Is
just
this
being
worse?
disrespectful.
It doesn't
What
hurt
about
us.
the
It
what
doesn't
about
hurt
the
Worse
morals
than
of
telling
right and
people that they
wrong?
should
What
be put
about
to
right
death?
and
It doesn't
wrong?
affect.
Socially profiled when he
All right, guys, we have an ex-Muslim. So, are you an ex-Muslim?
Yeah, ex-Muslim.
Ex-Muslim. Hold on, wait. You're the guy that you're the guy that you were. I seen it the other day. You were watching that other dude. I don't know, the David guy who was like eating the Quran or something.
That's you. You're watching. You watched him eat the Quran.
Yeah, I was there with you.
And you were like, you did a video or something ripping up the Quran and stuff. Don't you
Wow,
think, like,
man, that's dirty, man.
yeah, don't you think that there's a different way to like share your opinions and you know, because share your ideas instead of like, you know, disrespecting the Quran and ripping it and eating it and acting like complete hooligans.
Of course, I think there's a different way to represent these things. I mean, we could talk about what my motives are and what ex-Muslim motives are
Yeah, but
all day
well,
long. But of course, there is a different way to express your opinions. And to be very honest, I don't think there is any point in ripping up a Quran. I think it's a completely unnecessary
so
act.
why did you do that?
I did
It
it
seemed
in
like
response-
it seemed like you were egging it on because like I understand you're ex-Muslim and you have your own faith. At the end of the day, you know everybody Muslims have their own faith. At the end of the day, but like it seems like you have like this vendetta against Muslims.
No,
you know,
no.
like
I did
like
that
you're an
for-
ex-Muslim, but you represent I'm an ex-Muslim. Like the reason it's an ex is like it should be in the past. Am I right? Like I don't know. Like
No, I did that for a very specific reason. When I ripped up the Quran on that show, for example, I explained very clearly why I was ripping up the Quran as I was doing it. So if people actually want to go there and see
Yeah,
what
but
I was
what's
saying as I was ripping up the Quran, what I was saying,
what's
is
the
that,
explanation to like ripping the Quran? Like,
the
tell us
explanation
here
to that-
instead of going on to your like. Tell us here, like.
Of course,
What's the-
no,
what's the point?
I will explain it to you. Just let me speak. I will explain it to you.
Yeah.
So I am doing my ex-Muslim work, right? And there is a lot of back and forth between me and Muslims, and it's all going well as it maybe should. I don't know. But recently, between me and Mohammed Hijab and Ali Dawa, there has been a lot of
Yeah, no, but this
a
is
lot
not
of-
even
a lot
about.
of-
No, no. Sorry to cut you off. This is not about Muhammad Hijab or Ali Dawa
is,
or to.
it is,
No,
it is.
I don't. We don't even care about them. We're not defending them at all. We're defending Islam and the Quran.
I know, I
You know,
know.
you ripping up the Quran. It's like what's your defense? You're mentioning them. Muhammad and
Adam,
Hijab and
we'll
Ali
let you
Dawa
talk.
have nothing to do with you ripping the Quran.
We'll
You're
let you talk.
disrespecting
now
billions. That's what I'm trying to say. You
Okay,
disrespecting.
we'll let me talk, but it has to do with this. The whole protest.
So, no, it doesn't have to do with it.
Ripping up
They
the
have
Quran was
nothing
an act
to-
of protest. It was an
act of
to a certain
protest
thing
to
that was
rip
happening.
up-
protests? What? You know how much people you're offending? You're offending so many people
Are you going to let
for
me
no
speak?
reason.
Are you going
Do,
to
do,
let
do,
me
you,
speak?
do you believe about like right and wrong as an ex-Muslim? Like, do you believe in right
Adam,
and wrong?
Of course I do. But come on.
Do you like? Do you think that what you did was right?
I came here so we can exchange.
Yeah, we're just asking.
Yeah, yeah.
Did
But I'm
you-
asking you a question. Like, do you think what you did was right though? Like, do you think that's right?
I think it was right. Yes.
You think ripping up the Quran? So
That's
Do you-
childish.
do you-
just
do you think-
because you
do you
disagree
think-
with a
do you
certain group
think-
of people,
do you think
you're
killing
gonna
people
you're
who
gonna.
don't believe in Islam is right?
No, we do not. We do not condone of killing. We do not.
Do you think sending
Well, anyone, if someone,
do you think sending veiled rape threats? To
no,
people's
if
families-
anyone changes their religion or anything, we don't condone killing or nothing.
Islamically, if you kill one person, it's like you killed all humanity. That's how precious a life is in Islam.
But you are aware
know that,
that,
right?
that according to Islam, as someone who leaves Islam and who openly says that he left Islam is supposed to be put to death. This
Yeah,
is according
but-
to all Islamic
No,
jurisdictions.
no, we do not condone of killing anyone. You must have had a
But Adam,
misunderstanding. Hold on, when you were Muslim, I feel like you must have had a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
I feel like, and
Have you
it's
not-
got to the
have
point
you
where
not
you're ripping the.
recently- Have you not recently made a response video to me? And Ali Dawa even made a response video in which Ali Dawa clearly
This
said
isn't about Ali
that
Dawa
I-
or Muhammad Hijab. This isn't
which
about
Ali
them.
Dawa
It seems
clearly
like
said that I
no, it
deserve
has
to be
nothing.
killed.
I don't care about Ali Dawa. I don't care about Muhammad Hijab. I'm talking about you. Why are you ripping up the Quran and you thinking it's right?
Because it's an act of
Why are you ripping up and you're eating the
The fact
Quran? You
is
look
that-
like a child.
And the fact that you're trying to back it up as it's like some protest, like come on, that's a
don't-
petty excuse, my friend.
You're
Look,
disrespecting
I don't know if I should
Ali
call you my
Dawa, Ali
friend.
Dawa recently made a video in which
Ali
he
Dawa,
explains
Muhammad
that
Hijab,
I
Ali
deserve
Dawa,
to be
Muhammad. You
put
love
to
them.
death. That I deserve to be
No,
put to death for
we
my
do
cause.
not condone. We do not. None of us condone
So you do
death
not
or
agree that
anything.
people should be put to
We
death
do
for
not.
believing
We do
Islam,
not
for
condone.
taking-
No, we don't.
no death, man.
We don't. I feel
One
bad.
human life is all of humanity.
You must have.
look that up.
You must have
Then
misunderstood.
why did you put Allahu Akbar under Ali Dawa's video? in
Allahu
which he
Akbar means
explained
God is
I-
greatest.
Why
Allahu
did you
Akbar
agree with
means
his video?
Allahu
In which
Akbar.
he
If you
said that
were
I should be killed.
Allahu Akbar means God is the greatest. It means God is the greatest. Did you forget that, or no?
It
You used to be
depends.
Muslim.
It depends, like the way you take it. Like Allah Akbar probably to you means some other crazy things because you probably see things in the media, and that's affecting your your small brain. But you have to understand that like it means
Slim,
if you
Slim,
look
you
it
both,
up,
you
it's
both.
called God.
I don't think both of you are above intelligent people. I could now sit
Oh
here
wow!
and
Stop playing. You
insult
said,
your intelligence.
but I mean, I
I
don't
could
think you're
now,
intelligent either. You rip Qur'ans for protest.
I could sit here and insult
There's so
your
many different ways
intelligence.
to
I didn't say
protest.
I
that.
have a question though. I have a
Okay.
question, but it's not about Ali Dawah. It's not about Muhammad Hijab.
This is very childish. I didn't come here to insult you, and I don't.
Yeah, no,
I
I'm not
know.
insulting
We're
you.
not
I'm
insulting you.
trying. We're trying to understand you. Like I'm
You're
very
not trying to
confused.
understand me. You're not letting me speak for 5 seconds. You're
Or
not trying to
speak.
understand me. You're
I wanna hear-
insulting me. You're interrupting me. Whatever I said, I haven't.
I didn't. I never said
uttered
apus. I
single
never said
thought.
apus or nothing. I
Yes,
never
you-
said
you-
nothing.
You typed it here on the screen. You typed apus right here on the screen.
I thought honestly, I thought that was I don't know why
I
you
thought
would
your name was A+2,
call yourself
bro.
a prophet. You know.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah. So as I was saying, I have a question. Why, like, why is it when someone leaves Islam, they end up putting like, everywhere in their bios and everywhere like, oh, ex-Muslim. They always, it's like Islam is living rent free in their heads. Like, what's
Will
the
you
whole
let me
point of that?
explain that?
Yes, I will let
okay.
you explain that.
How about this? Give me 2 minutes. Give me 2
2
minutes, and
minutes.
I will explain it to you. Okay.
You're gonna have 2 minutes for what?
I will explain to you why an ex-Muslim like me, for example, or other ex-Muslims speak out against Islam and put it on their bios. I will explain it to you. Do you give me 2 minutes and promise me not to interrupt?
You need 2 minutes.
2
You,
minutes,
you
man.
look at your phone. You can't answer it from your
Okay,
heart.
fine, give me-
Can you
give me
answer
1
it from
minute.
your soul? You
No,
need a script.
I'm setting a timer. Can you
A
give me
timer.
2 minutes? Can you give me 2 minutes to explain why
My man
people
made a
why
timer.
ex-Muslims talk about
You,
Islam?
you know what?
Talk.
Before, how about this? I know you kind of you offered to be on our podcast and stuff like that, and you were, I don't know. I feel like in a way, I feel like you know that we're not really knowledgeable. You say that, oh, you're not knowledgeable about Islam. You shouldn't be saying that at all. You know what I'm saying? We still, like, we're Muslim at the end of the day, but there's more scholars, there's Islam scholars, there's people who know, who are very knowledgeable. They go to school for it and they know. So we have a friend of ours who's gonna come and talk to all of us and who's more knowledgeable about this. So come on in.
He's very educated, so like, you know what I'm saying?
Who's
We're gonna hold it
gonna
down. Huh? He's a very good friend of ours.
Who's knowledgeable and would know, like,
Because I want him to like be able to like
Who is he going to join? us
exchange
now?
like words with you as well.
What are you doing, sir? He's gonna come in.
Yo,
This is
where's he
what-
at? Huh. Where's he at? What? In the meantime, if you want to talk about
Yeah.
your 2-minute timer thing,
Okay,
here,
sure.
here's
I'll
a
talk
chance.
about it.
Here's a chance while he comes in.
So you have asked me why people who leave Islam are so obsessed with Islam and why they make it so open that they have left Islam and why they talk about Islam. Let me tell you this: there are many ex-Muslims in the world, including me. I grew up with Islam. I was extremely religious when I was a. when I
Unmute
was
them.
a
Unmute them. Unmute. Ask unmute. Ask unmute. No, not him.
Oh, what a minute.
Go. No, ask the bottom. Yeah, that one. Ask unmute.
So go on. I'm sorry. Go on.
I was extremely religious when I was a Muslim. I believed in Islam very firmly. I was raised
Until
with
when?
it.
Until when?
What's your
Until when?
nationality, by the way? I just want to know your nationality.
Turkish. I was raised with it. My parents are very religious. I was in very religious environments, and after leaving Islam, like many other Muslims, like many other ex-Muslims, I was basically shunned, basically rejected by society. But my situation is not very bad. I live in America freely right now. I have burned the bridges. I've come here. I'm free, and I can do and say whatever I want. But it's not about me. It's about so many other people. In over 12 countries, it is officially punishable by death to leave Islam, and leaving Islam is today in 2020 officially punishable by death. In many other countries, it is forbidden. In many other countries, it's a social taboo. People persecute and punish their kids and their loved ones, their known ones, for leaving Islam. So people live under persecution if they leave Islam. So your entire life is affected by Islam. And afterwards, if you decide not to believe in it, just because you don't believe in it, you are also followed and persecuted for that. So it is completely normal that somebody who leaves Islam, whose entire life was defined by the fears of Islam and by the introductions of Islam, also leaves Islam.
We have our friend here who's more I feel like he's way more.
I will not talk to Mohammed Hijab. Mohammed Hijab has
He's
insulted,
really
has insulted my wife.
I can't
He's
hear
really
you.
not. Oh no.
Yeah.
You've
Can you hear
disrespected,
me?
bro. You've disrespected
No, I
Can you
do
hear me
not-
now?
You
I
ripped
do-
up the
I do
Quran.
not- I do not
Disrespect,
care.
and then
Mohammed
you
Hijab,
talk
Zoom.
about
Hijab is a
Prophet.
scumbag.
Relax.
who has
It's not about
insulted
Muhammad
my
Hijab.
wife.
No, it's not about him.
Calm down. I know
Mohammed
you're
not
a
about
bit
that.
worried.
is a scumbag.
Let-
who has insulted-
Calm
I
down.
have made
Calm
an-
down. Calm
I
down.
have
Don't
made
be
a debate
scared.
offer.
Don't be
Shut the
scared.
hell-
Don't
shut
be
the hell
scared.
up. I have.
Don't
You
be
are
scared.
scared.
Don't
You
be
are
scared.
No,
Don't be
look.
scared. I
Apos,
can't hear
Apos,
any
relax.
of you.
Everybody.
Apos,
I can't.
Everybody.
Don't
Relax,
run away.
Apos,
Don't run
this is
away.
the
Don't
conversation.
run away. It
Offer.
seems like you're running
Listen,
away.
I made a
I
debate
can't
offer
hear
to
any of you.
Mohammed
Can you
Hijab.
unmute?
I made a debate
I can't
offer
hear
to
any of
Mohammed
you.
Hijab.
He
I
can't hear
can't
us.
hear
He
any
can't
of
hear
you.
any of us. He
Unmute.
can't hear any of us.
Oh,
I made a debate offer to Mohammed
Unmute
Hijab.
on
Mohammed
Zoom.
Hijab
Unmute
rejected
on
my
Zoom.
debate because
Unmute.
No,
On Zoom.
to defend
I can't hear any of you on Zoom.
Unmute.
Unmute on Zoom.
Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
Yeah. Can you
Okay,
unmute as well?
Mohammed
come to Zencaster.
Muhammad Hijab is
Yeah, we don't
here.
hear it
And,
on Zencaster.
no, it's all right. We're here. Can you hear us here?
I can hear you guys, but he's gonna have to unmute if he wants to engage.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you unmute your microphone?
I could do that, yeah.
Can you hear us now?
Yeah. Now I haven't been paying attention to what you've been saying because I can't actually hear anything.
Yeah. So pretty much, as I was saying, we were telling him about his childish acts that he was doing, ripping the Quran and watching that guy eat the Quran, and he's trying to defend himself, but he just kept on mentioning your name, Ali Dawa's name, which I feel like is childish. It has nothing to do with Muhammad Hijab or Ali Dawa. This is about you disrespecting, the Quran. Like, what kind of? There's different ways to share your opinions.
Okay,
than breaking up the Quran.
I have to say something very quickly. You
Go
have Adam and Slim. You have invited me here today.
Yes,
acted,
we are
acted as if you were very genuine people. Texted me.
No,
and
we're
said,
here.
and
You
said
wanted
that-
to be on a podcast. We have someone
and
who's
said that
knowledgeable.
I would and said that I would be talking here to the
We are
two of you,
talking.
to the two.
We
of
are
you.
talking.
You didn't say anything about Mohammed Hijab.
So are you
Okay,
telling
we're
me-
talking.
If
He's
you
a friend of
want
ours.
to-
He's
if you want to
knowledgeable.
run away, you
He
can
helps
run
us.
away.
Come here.
He helps us, brother.
Yes,
He
if
helps
you
us.
want to
I'm
run
sorry,
away,
we're
you
not.
can.
I would not have come here if Mohammed Hijab was here because
Of
I made a
course.
debate offer to Mohammed Hijab, which
Well,
Mohammed Hijab
we're here right now.
rejected.
We're here right now.
Afterwards, Mohammed Hijab told me to commit suicide. He harassed my
Listen,
wife.
don't be
He tried to
scared. Don't be
dox
scared.
me.
If you want to have a
We're on here.
conversation
me.
about
Hate
Islam,
Quran. You're
That-
talking about
I'm right
urinating.
here right now.
He
Look,
tried
if you have
to
something
rape-
to say, if you have
He
something to
harassed
say about
people's
Islam,
family. He tried to dox
look,
me.
listen, all
He
of that
also
is
excused
Lamb
all
talk,
in
lamb
good.
talk,
These are all
lamb talk.
allegations.
for my
Apos,
death
lamb talk.
penalty,
Apos, lamb talk.
including he also
Okay,
approved
look,
of
if you
Ali Dawa
look,
insulting
let's
my
put all of the
3-year-old
insults
son.
to the side and
Ali
let's put all
Dawa
of these
insulted my
matters to the
Apos,
side.
make him lamb talk.
And Mohammed
Lamb
Hijab
talk, lamb
approved of
talk.
that.
One
Okay,
more
let
thing.
him
I just want to say one thing before you. I mean, you can go if you want to. It's just gonna say something about your spirit here.
It will say something
Well,
about you.
look, you
Everybody,
can go if
I'm
you
making
like.
a video about you right now. I made
No,
you a debate
look,
of
look,
you.
look, before-
You
before-
We
ran
respected
away.
you and we
You
stopped
are
cutting
a
you off.
pussy.
Can you stop
You are
cutting
stupid.
off? Yo,
please.
can you stop
Calm
cutting
down,
it off?
calm down.
This is-
One person at a time.
You seem triggered. You seem
You are a
emotionally
bunch of
unstable.
unreliable, dishonest.
Listen.
bastards.
That's
I came here
all
in good
fine.
faith.
That's all
Just
fine.
honest. We didn't say nothing.
Continue.
All
I
you're
came here in
doing-
good faith.
Listen, with all due respect, I mean, what we can do now
I have
is
no. You,
Of
don't
all
speak
due
to me about. Don't
okay,
speak to me
no
about
problem.
respect. Will you
Okay,
take
no
back what you
problem,
have
no
said?
problem.
Will you have taken
No
back everything
problem,
that you
no
have said?
problem. Let's
I will
have
not
a-
listen to you. Will you take back
Listen,
everything
listen.
that
Let's
you have
just
said
finish.
to
Let's
people
listen,
outside?
listen,
give me a chance to speak. Give me a chance to speak.
Sure,
All
go
I'm
ahead.
saying now, putting all of the hostilities and the toxicities to the side.
I will not put it aside.
Oh, well, if you can't manage that, right? If you can't manage that, then you can't manage freedom of speech.
that has nothing to do
You
with
can't
that-
manage freedom of
that
speech.
is
So
not
you're
how
okay
freedom of speech
you're okay
works.
to eat up a
That-
Quran, laugh at it, and rip it up. But when
You,
all I'm
you
doing
have
is
no
having
understanding
an
of
intellectual
philosophy. That
discussion
is
with
not everybody. That is not what freedom of speech is about.
Listen,
freedom
Look,
of
all I'm
speech.
do- am I
freedom of
being
speech
am
is
I
about
being
the fact
insulting
that
now?
I
I'm
can
not
say
being
something.
insulting
Let
now.
him,
I'm
let
not.
him talk.
I'm not.
Apos,
I'm-
let him talk,
look,
please.
I'm not being insulting to you right now. Yeah, I'm
You have
giving
been
you.
insulting enough.
Listen. Sorry, please. You're a person who refutes Islam intellectually. That's at least the claim that you make. All I'm doing now, we're people that have much bigger platforms than you. We're giving you a chance, okay, as an unqualified person who, as you are, to actually make a case against Islam.
You have
Look,
made
hold
your
on.
name. You have
Look,
made your
look,
name
look,
by a
please,
Wow, I
please,
never knew
please,
Apos
Don't
had
tell me
anger.
about giving people
Relax.
platforms.
please. We're giving you a chance. Look, I'm gonna say this
You have
straightforward.
made your
For
name
all
by
the
attacking
toxicities and
people. Don't
hostilities
talk
to this,
about- don't
Listen,
talk
just
about
for a
this
second, just for a
understanding
second.
of it.
Stop being emotional. Stop
You
being
are.
emotional. Be calm. All we're saying is, look, if you have a case against Islam, all I want to hear now is your strongest argument
I will not
against
talk to
Islam.
you. I will not talk to you.
Say your strongest argument. We're saying
Say
it.
your
Say your
strongest
strongest
argument
argument.
against Islam. I'm happy to hear it.
I will not talk to you. I
Do
would
you
say
have an
that
you
are
argument?
talking
I want
to
to
me.
listen.
Look,
Listen,
you
talk
have
to me.
the
Talk
look.
to me.
You are
Why don't you
talking
talk
to
to
me. Yeah.
Mohammed
You
Hijab.
have to talk. Look, you are talking to me. You have an opportunity now to speak in front of millions of
Mohammed Hijab,
Muslims.
I have made you an offer in which
Listen,
we were
the
Didn't you
offer
say
is
you would love to talk
about
to him just
quiet.
out of
Look,
your?
you have a chance. The floor is yours. The floor is yours in front of
He said
millions
he
of
said he
people.
will. Once he
Millions
came
of
on,
people.
Muhammad,
This is your chance. This is your chance. What we're
I
saying is,
have made you one offer
listen,
to do
this is your chance
exactly
in front of
that,
millions
which
of
you have
people.
refused.
Listen,
No,
put the
this
offer
is
to the side for
this
now.
is
We're
this is not
talking
how
about
we do
something.
this. This is not
Look,
how we do
look,
this.
hey,
look,
but
look.
you
Don't
said
be
you would love to
This is
emotional.
talk
not
to
how
him
we
when he
do
came
Don't be
on. You said
scared.
you would
Don't be
love to
scared.
talk to
You
him.
seem jittery. Don't be jittery. Don't be scared.
I'm not. Shut the hell up. This is not
Okay,
about
calm
being
down,
scared.
calm down. Don't
Stop
be
being
angry.
stop
There's
being so
no
damn
need to be
condescending.
emotional.
Just take a chill pill,
Just
man.
calm
Stop being
down,
so
calm
damn
down. We're
condescending.
talking normally.
Stop
Look,
being so
It's
damn
conversation.
condescending.
You know what I feel like? I'm gonna talk
I'm
right
not
now. I'm gonna
trying
talk.
to
I'm
be.
gonna talk. No, no, no. I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna talk. You know what I feel like? I feel like you're trying to take advantage of me and Slim because we're not knowledgeable. Muhammad Hijab
I
is a
have-
friend of ours. He's a friend of ours. He is very educated. He is inspiring. Why are you taking off your headphones? Put your headphones on. Can you hear us?
Let me speak.
All right, speak,
Let
speak,
me
speak.
Speak. Please do. Please
Let
do.
him speak. Listen, here
Let
he
me
said. We
speak.
just said present your strongest
I cannot
argument
hear you.
against
Let me
Islam.
speak.
All right.
We're letting you speak. Go ahead.
Number one, let me speak. Number one, I made an offer to Mohammed Hijab, which was very clear in the very beginning, which was that we are going to have an online debate. That is the fairest discourse that you could possibly.
We're online right
This is
now.
not about having. This is not
Imagine-
about this. Look.
Stop. Come on, let him talk. Let him talk. He's using that excuse right now because you keep
what I'm
interrupting.
saying.
All right, listen. You made an offer to debate him,
It was
right?
the fairest
All right,
offer that
you
you
guys
could
are here to
possibly
debate now.
offer
What's-
in the world.
what's better than
to
that
have
offer?
an actual
Right now.
because you are not letting me talk. Do you see the difference? The difference between a debate would be that I would have 20 minutes to talk. Mohammed Hijab would have 22
Here,
minutes to talk.
you have
It
have
would be
10 minutes
in
to talk right now.
nobody's
Go ahead.
control.
Okay.
Well, listen to
Nobody
you.
could
Well,
interrupt
I'm happy to
anybody.
give you a
And
time.
we
If you
could
want a
talk.
time, if
And
that's
we
the
could
excuse,
talk. No, I'm
if
not going
that's
to
the
talk about you on
excuse,
your
look, if
platform.
that's the excuse,
Number
I'm
two,
happy to
number
give you a
two,
time.
number two. Adam Saleh
That's the
and Slim.
excuse.
I have offered you a very clear choice and said I will come
Look,
to
if you want
you
10 minutes, and I'll be
talk
quiet in those 10 minutes.
talk to Ali Dawa and you
It
two
seems like we're
about
not
our
going
religious
anywhere here.
beliefs. Did I do that or did I not
Look,
do
look,
Once-
look. Can I
And
say
once
something?
Muhammad Hijab
Can I
came in, you
respond?
said
Can I
you would love
respond
talk
to you?
him.
Can I respond to you?
Muhammad talk. Muhammad talk.
Yeah, look. All I'm saying is this, right? Putting all of the negotiations aside for the debate. Look, we're here and now. People on your side and my side, they want to hear an engagement. If
They're
you
gonna
want
share
me
this
to be,
on YouTube.
with all due respect, we don't like each other. That's fine. You can put that to the side. You're here in front of a fresh new audience of Muslim people. All right, we're giving you a chance as someone who is a critic of Islam, a polemic against Islam, to produce your strongest argument against it. Now, what I'm going to say is this: look, I'm happy to stay quiet for as long as you want me to stay quiet. Right now, if you say, "Look, stay quiet for 5 minutes, stay quiet for 10 minutes," I will be muted for that time. Okay, and then I'll have the same time to. Yeah, I can't see what's going on.
This is so
What
I don't know
childish.
what's going on here.
This is so childish.
What are
This
you
is-
doing?
This is
I
so.
don't
So
know.
you
This
not.
is- yeah, look,
can't
that's,
debate.
Let's talk about now. Let's talk about now. Let's have our conversation
let's
now.
have the
Yo, should we
conversation
pull up
now.
your tweets? We're gonna pull up your tweets here. You want to pull up tweets? Let's pull up your childish tweets and the stuff.
Look,
you
look,
like.
you're just running
You
away
are,
from
you are
being
making you are making
You're
rape
running-
implications
yeah, when
about
these
my wife. You are
anti-Muslim
making
attention
rape
or
threats
Islamophobes
about my
need to get-
wife.
That's not about your wife.
You're
It's
making
just-
You're
rape
talking about-
implications
It's not about your
my
wife, and that's aside the point. It doesn't say your wife anywhere there. It says
You are
the.
making rape implications
We are
about my
talking
wife.
about-
and you are
That's nothing to
seriously-
do with your wife. That has
And you are
nothing to do with your wife. And it's
seriously
not
You said
expecting
you
your
would
rape
love
there,
to
my
talk to
friend.
Muhammad Hijab. You
Look,
said
you
want
have
to
a
talk to him.
chance to
Mohammed Hijab,
engage
what
with
would
me.
happen if
Where
I
does it
insulted
say your wife?
sexually?
Where does it say your wife there?
Right here, this is my wife.
No, that
What-
doesn't say when these Islamophobes. That's these is a pronoun
would
for
happen,
what?
what
For a
would happen
woman?
if I insulted your wife?
You can do it. It's freedom of speech. You can do that if you like.
Yeah,
You insult my prophet.
would it be? Is it freedom
No,
of
no,
speech?
it is. You insult my prophet. You eat the Quran. You rip it up.
How,
I mean,
how about Ali Dawa telling me that
your wife
How are you
is
so
a public
sensitive?
figure, my friend.
Like,
Your
how about
wife
Ali Dawa telling me that I should have sex with my
What's the-
3-year-old son?
Your wife
How
is a
about that?
public figure. Your wife is
No, she-
online on a public.
A public figure by definition is
She,
somebody
look,
who
don't
has
give me your definition.
has
She's on. She has a public profile.
influence
She's open
where
to
people
criticism. It's
know
freedom
her
of
just
speech.
by her name.
Why is it
My
that
wife
freedom
is
of
not a public
speech is
figure.
only applicable when
That
it's
is not what freedom of speech is about. Freedom
Exactly,
of speech.
exactly.
why,
When
why
you
can you
talk
rip up the
about
Quran?
Quran,
Why can you
it's-
eat the
okay.
Quran? But then when we come back, right, and do something against the public figure, which you might find distasteful, you're now panicking and having an anxiety attack.
Mohammed Hijab,
Why has the cat got
you
your
are,
tongue
you
now?
are an intellectual.
Why has the cat got your
dog.
tongue?
You are an intellectual.
Why
dog.
has
Why are you
the-
insulting him? Why are you insulting him?
Oh
Why
my
don't you
God.
produce your
Talk-
strongest argument against Islam?
you.
Are
Can you
you
shut
Are
I'm
you
waiting
stupid?
for it. If you
Are
want to
you
engage
stupid?
me
Are you
intellectually, I'm
stupid? The guy
happy
is
to
sitting
engage
there
you
insulting me.
intellectually.
I'm
Look,
responding to him.
He's
being
not
scared.
insulting you. He's
Stop
talking to you
being scared.
normally.
Look, I'm saying to you, look, if
Mohammed
you
Hijab,
want
you're an
10
intellectual
minutes, I will
dog.
be
Stop
muted.
insulting me.
Listen, look, don't worry about insults. Insults are freedom of speech. That's what you
No,
believe.
no, they're not. That's
Yes,
not how it works.
they are freedom of speech.
That is
Yes,
not
they
how
are.
it works.
Look, with all due respect,
You have
yeah,
no
I have
understanding of
four.
philosophy. That
Listen
is
to
not
me.
how freedom of
I
speech
have
works.
4 degrees to my name.
Yeah,
4.
you don't know anything
Four.
about it. Freedom of speech.
You have
is
any?
not-
Yes,
that is
your
not
name,
what
man.
freedom of
One
speech
of
is.
those, and one of those, by the way, is in political philosophy, which is about freedom of speech.
By bearded
So what are your
Islamists, that's where
degrees?
you got your philosophy
What are
degrees,
your
probably.
degrees? What are your degrees?
It
I've been
doesn't
in
matter to you.
university
It doesn't
for 10
matter to
years.
you.
How long have
You
been in
don't.
How many
It
degrees
doesn't
do you
matter
got,
to you.
man?
Look,
It doesn't matter to you.
you do not
You don't
have
have a basic
the authority
understanding of
to tell
freedom of
me.
speech.
Look, you do not have the authority to tell me what you think freedom of speech is. I have actually written books on liberalism.
I don't care.
How
If
many
you-
books do you
The
write?
If you
peer reviewed
contradict,
my professors, when they were peer reviewing them, they didn't tell me that I was wrong about my understandings of freedom of speech.
okay, can you tell me this then?
Yeah.
According to you, does freedom of speech mean that you can say whatever you want and nobody should get angry about this?
Well, according to liberal philosophers like John Stuart Mill, yeah, in his book on utilitarianism and other books like On Liberty and so on, freedom of speech is only curtailed by the harm principle. And for him, the harm principle entailed physical harm. There were some things that he mentioned in his book that he saw was distasteful, right? So, for example, people having sexual intercourse, he said things that affect the sensibilities of people. So, for example, people having sexual intercourse on the roadsides, John Stuart Mill saw that as something which is unethical. But in terms of me insulting, the freedom to insult is not something which is censored by freedom of speech advocates, including those philosophical founding fathers. Now, my point is this: it's very happy days for you when you come up and rip the Quran and eat it and spit it out. It's freedom of speech. But when hold on. But when I don't, within the scope of the law, because to this day there's no police officer that has contacted me, and believe you me, there is no court injunction against me. All the things that I've said on Twitter are by law, UK law and US law, absolutely within the full scope of the law. And I'm waiting for a court order. I'm waiting for an injunction to prove me otherwise. There's nothing within the spirit or letter of the law, nor within the parameters of freedom of speech as per liberal ethics that stop me from insulting you and your wife, who has a public figure platform, attacking Islam and calling the Prophet of Islam all kinds of names. If you cannot handle the freedom of speech when it comes back at you, do not try and give it to people, a community of people, by spitting out the Quran, laughing at the Quran, and so on and so forth. Because that would imply that you are a person of weakness. You're an individual.
Was that my question?
Yeah. So that answers your question.
Let me respond. Was that my question? Do you really think that was my question?
What's your question? Just repeat it for yourself.
Was that really my question?
What was your question?
My question was, according to your understanding of freedom of speech,
yes,
does freedom of speech mean that you can say whatever you want and no one can be angered about it?
No, not whatever you want. There are laws of libel. There are laws of defamation. There are laws of copyright. There
That's
are
not the point.
laws. So there are
Does your freedom of speech, does freedom of speech, according to you, mean that no one can be angry about it? About what
we're angry about you eating and spitting out the Quran, and you and David.
Of course, you can.
I mean, it doesn't matter. If you don't want to play by the rules, don't do the things that aggravate other communities.
Well, that was not what my question was about, because you are making it look like
we can be angry.
You are making it look like I have no right to be angry and to refuse to talk to you.
Your anger is
you
state of mind. It's got nothing to do.
You want to debate him, though. You offered to debate him, and then when you have the
once
opportunity to
Muhammad
debate
Hijab
him, get in your face.
Anger is irrelevant. Your anger the truth doesn't care about your anger.
Everybody, do you see this? This is exactly why I'm not wanting to have this conversation.
Why? Because
I am here trying to give you a response, and you haven't even let me talk.
Go ahead, please.
But come on, man. The more you're talking about is responding.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Okay, I will include this in my upcoming video about you, Muhammad Hijab. I think you can evade that, but I have a video upcoming about you in which I will demonstrate.
This is not about Muhammad Hijab. This isn't about Ali Dawah or anybody. I don't know if you're in love with him or something, but this is about you ripping up the Quran and laughing at people eating the Quran and talking about urinating on the Quran on your Twitter.
Is this worse? Is this worse than telling people that they should be put to death?
This guy, no, we don't condone it. Look, you're childish.
And you're complaining about insulting, and then you're doing something which is insulting.
Is this worse?
That doesn't hurt us, man.
You're just being disrespectful. What about the right and wrong?
It doesn't affect us when you do
even right and wrong.
Sometimes I put the Quran in. I can burn the Quran. I can put it in water.
It's great that it doesn't affect you. It's great. It's fantastic that it doesn't affect
you. What's your point by doing that?
But is this worse?
So lame.
and telling
Honestly,
people that
You're
they
making
should be
yourself look like a
they
fool
should
right
be
now.
put
You
to
know that,
death.
right?
Look,
this is
Leaving
this is
them
your
alone.
defense.
look,
This
Abel,
is your defense.
what we're saying is we're not saying
defense.
that you should be
No,
killed. Let me put that on the record. Let me put that on the record.
you
Listen,
brought it up. I'm responding to
listen, let
you.
me tell you
Is
something.
it
Let
worse?
me tell you something. Let
Is
me
it
put
worse
this
than
on the
telling people
record.
they should be killed?
Let me. Well, Apis, listen. I'm telling you right in front of you.
Fuck up. Don't call me Apis, okay?
I can
You're
call
a
you whatever I like.
Relax,
Answer,
man.
answer
Relax.
me,
You're
answer me a
obviously
question.
triggered.
Answer me a question, Mohammed
Handle
Hijab.
it. I'm
Triggered,
just
man.
you normally.
You have talked enough. I have gave you the time to respond.
Why would you
Answer
write
me
it
one
now when
question.
you're 7,000 miles away?
Answer me one question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Adam Saleh and Slim Al Bahir here were not convinced that this is the response. According to Islam,
According to
under
your
an
version of Islam, your
under an
your
Islamic government,
unqualified understanding of it. Yeah, you're not qualified, are you? Let's be honest. You don't have any training in Islam, do you?
True. That's true.
You are tired.
You don't have any training. Do you have any training in Islam?
According to Islam,
You're self-taught by your own admission. So why are you saying according to Islam? You should say according to my understanding of Islam, which is
I'm asking you a question. Can I ask you a question about the Islamic rulings?
yes, sir.
According to,
You can ask,
ask you a
ask
question?
the educator the question. Yes.
You are an idiot. Can I ask you a question about the Islamic rulings
Go ahead,
according
go
to my understanding? You don't even have the brain to think about this.
Go ahead,
I'm
go ahead,
asking
go
you
ahead,
a
go ahead,
question
go ahead.
Ask
about
me.
your Islamic
away.
rulings.
Ask away.
According to the Islamic jurisdiction, according to Islam, according to
Jurisprudence,
the,
yeah.
the Islamic
Jurisprudence.
whatever, according to yeah,
Jurisprudence.
it's my third language. While you spend time going into answer the question. According to Islam, somebody who leaves Islam, i.e.,
Yep.
me or other people, somebody who leaves Islam
Yep.
and makes it public
Yes.
that they have left Islam
Yes.
and explains to the public
Yeah.
that they have left Islam and why
Yeah.
they have left Islam.
Yeah.
Is this person to be put to death under Islam?
Well, I've written a book on this. It's actually called The
Just answer
Liberal.
question. You don't need to write a book about it. Just
Well,
answer.
I'm just want to put to you that I've written a book on this, which is actually my dissertation for one of my degrees, which I got a distinction in, and which was peer reviewed by two liberal people by my ad, and given a distinction. So I think this will be a professional answer here, not like yours. My answer is this: it really depends on the situation. I'm not saying to you that Islam, the only ruling in Islam, is that the person who is a public apostate is to be put to death. In fact, in the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, where the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ had a negotiation with Suhail ibn Amr, in that treaty, there was a clear parenthesis put in place, or a clause, a stipulation put in place, whereby apostates would be actually redirected or strategically relocated. For that reason, Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawziyah and many of the scholars, in fact, from my reading, the majority of scholars say, it's possible that a public apostate, and listen carefully, I'm answering your question directly, a public apostate, just like yourself, not just within the Western world, but within an Islamic state, is not actually put to death and is strategically located to another country, for example, a safe haven. And that is not despite the Islamic law, that is because of it. And the reason and the evidence of that is the Hadith in Bukhari, which is as you know, the most authoritative Hadith book, which stipulates this point. On the kitab of the hadith of Suhail ibn Amr. So in other words, what I actually recommend in my book, which is ironic, I say that in this day and age, my position is not that apostates, even in Muslim countries, this is my position, even in Muslim countries which claim to rule by Islamic law, I proposed in the book, I proposed that it would be within the maslahah, the common interest of the Muslim people, to make peace treaties, the like of which was seen by the Prophet Muhammad himself, with non-Muslim countries, such that apostates in certain Muslim countries are not to be put to death, and in fact are strategically located to other non-Muslim countries in a way to protect their life. And in fact, if you go against such treaty, according to the scholars that I've mentioned, Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawziyah, al-Mirdawi, and others, who actually mentioned this very explicitly in their jurisprudential tracts, if you go against this, then that would be something which is seen as immoral because it goes against the contractual agreements. It says in Surah Al-Ma'idah chapter 5 verse 1, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu awfu bil uqud. Oh, you have believed, be faithful to your contracts. And that includes contracts with disbelieving nations. It includes contracts with non-Muslim nations and so on and so on. So my position actually is this. If there is a country now that wants to rule by Islamic law, I do not think it within the common interest of that particular country to exercise that particular law of apostasy. I think it is within the full scope of the jurisprudential Islamic allowance, as well as the law, for that Muslim country to make a peace treaty with other non-Muslim countries such that there will be a strategic relocation. And that is my position on the matter. Yes, of course, in history, there have been times where there have been public apostasies. But in the book that I've written, and the capital punishment employed, but that's not the position that I think is most beneficial for the world today. And I think, actually, my historical analysis, when I did a historical analysis, I looked at America, and I looked at Turkey, which are countries.
Well, you are contradicting with the with the historical consensus in Islamic jurisprudence.
Well, actually, I've just mentioned to you. No, you're saying I'm contradicting it. I'm giving you evidence from
It is
a
very clear that
consensus
you are
is when there's no difference of opinion. I've just told you Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawziyah.
That's
his
not what
book,
consensus
Zad
is.
al-Ma'ad, sorry, he
The
mentions
majority
that the
consensus
allowance
is
for
that-
this. How can it be a
is that-
consensus?
The majority consensus is that apostates are to be put to death, which is
No, you're forcing your worldview on us. Look,
I am
you're-
forcing. There
you
are
are-
several
you're-
countries.
you're
There are
forcing
several
us.
countries in the world today that have
Look,
this.
I'm not saying
According
that.
to you,
Listen. I don't know what you want me to say. I'm telling you
if-
what you don't want to hear, maybe. But I'm telling you it's possible.
no,
Yes,
you are
this
being
is
dishonest
conceivable.
because you came here
Listen,
before
listen.
and you excused
I,
this.
as you know, I'm not shy to say something outrageous. I'm a wild character. If I want to, I'll say something outrageous.
I think
I
you
have
are
no problem.
rightly
I'm telling
dishonest.
you what it is that I've looked at from the books that I've read and the scholars that I've spoken to. All of them agree with me. Yes, that actually it's completely conceivable and totally allowable within a Muslim nation that a Muslim nation does a peace treaty with a non-Muslim nation, and the public apostates that come out and say we are public apostates, we are against the Prophet Muhammad, we are against the, just like you, and even and so on and so forth. Maybe not just like you actually, but someone who does all that stuff, and then they can be. What will happen to you? Well, it depends on what you want to do. If you are a public apostate and just go ahead.
If I did exactly what I'm doing right now in the ideal Islamic country, what would happen to me?
Well, look, if you did what you're doing right now in an ideal Islamic country, I'm sure there will be vigilantes, okay, that will take the law into their own hands. There's a difference between what the civilians do, yes, and what the law says. In an ideal Islamic country, this will not
vigilantes
be
would
tolerated.
probably kill me.
It's like asking me if I, do you know this? There was a film called Die Hard 3. I used to watch films when I was younger. Die Hard with a Vengeance. And then, Bruce Willis, he came with this postage saying, I hate niggers. Sorry to say the word, but he said, I hate niggers. And he went to Harlem. You know Harlem. And then these guys saw him and they were going to kill him. I'm not going to tell you that if you are living in a Muslim majority place and you're ripping up the Quran in Pakistan or some place, that you're going to be fine. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to lie.
I'm not talking
Yeah, but
about
I'm
ripping up the
talking
Quran.
to you about laws. I'm talking to you about what's
Okay.
conceivable.
That was my question.
from a prudential perspective.
What about the law?
Yeah, the law. What I'm saying to you is, I've just told you what the law is. Public.
No, you said.
Yeah.
you
What I
said
said
about me.
from the law perspective is totally conceivable, as I've just mentioned, right? And do you know what I've said is the book that I've written, which is called a public. Sorry, I can't remember. It's a treatise. I said it's called critiques of the public, the liberal critiques to Ridda. That's the name of the book. I forgot the name of the book. It's called the liberal critiques to Ridda. Okay, and this book, what I actually show historically is this, because I'm sure you're aware, you're a Turkish-speaking person. You can actually access now online the majority of Ottoman archives, and a lot of it will be in Ottoman language. So it's actually not even in Arabic, but it's kind of Arabic script, but it's Ottoman Turkish, right? So we had a translator who looked at from the period of, say, Bayezid the second, which is about 1517, all the way up to when the end of the Ottoman Empire. We looked at that, and we also looked at America. And what we found was quite intriguing, actually, because what we found is that there were some acts in America, for example, burning of flags, and so on and so forth, which were prosecuted by death. And I show you the case studies in the book. And so this was a symbolic act. It wasn't a military act. It was seen as treacherous and treasonous. And in the same way, there were some instances like that in the Ottoman Empire. What I found quite interesting, though, was that the Ottoman judges were way more reluctant to exercise apostasy laws. In terms of the primary source materials that is referenced in the book, and you can check it out,
You're beating
it's
around the
language
bush so
that I'm
much
sure
right
you
now.
have
I
access
can't
to,
even- I can't even-
maybe directly. So you can check out actually on an implementation level how much this was actually implemented. By the way, I'm not trying to say, and I want to make this very clear, I'm not trying to say that there is no such thing as the capital punishment in Islam for non-allegiance to the state, which is like ridda. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is that there is maneuverability within the law, the scope of the law, so such that a hakim, if you like, a ruler, there's a scope of maneuverability there. And what I'm saying is, and this is not a reform position, it's not a liberal position, this is within the traditionalist discourse. And I think people like you should actually listen to people like me, because if I get my way, right, if I had my recommendation in place, then in fact the world would be, in your world, a safer place, in your understanding. So why are you trying to force me?
Do you condemn the killing of
Force me
apostates?
to want to kill you people like you? I don't want to
Because
kill
I
you.
don't believe you.
Look, you don't have to believe me. I've given you evidences. Look,
Do you condemn the killing of apostates? Do
Look,
you condemn it?
yeah, because if you kill apostates now, there is no law
Wait,
and order.
So
There's
you
no law and
condemn,
order on that.
you,
There's
you,
absolutely
conde-
condemn it. I would
you
never
condemn capital punishment for apostasy.
I absolutely condemn.
Do you
the killing
condemn?
of-
Do you condemn your friend Ali Dawa telling me that I should
I
be punished for that?
absolutely condemn the killing of apostates, because that is completely
That is
against
fantastic.
law and order. Apostates, listen, I say to you something. You know, there's a hadith, and we're talking about primary source materials now. Hudayfa bin Yaman, he's a Sahabi. He had a list of individuals who, for all intents and purposes, they were munafiqeen. They were people who had lost their faith. And in the list of all of those individuals, including Abdullah bin Salul and others, those individuals, none of them were killed. Why? Even though all of them were not sympathetic to Muhammad. In fact, they went against him. None of them. Why were they not killed? The reason why they were not killed is because I put to you, and this is what As-Sarakhsi says, the Hanafi jurist, and this is before liberalism was even invented. He wrote this. It's nothing to do with you changing your faith. Islam and Allah is not afraid of you changing your faith. You can change your faith all you like. We don't care, because Allah will judge you on the day of judgment. We believe those who change their faith and become apostates, وَمَن يَرْتَدِدْ عَنْ دِينِهِ فَيَمُتْ وَهُوَ كَافِرٌ فَأُولَٰئِكَ حَبِطَتْ أَعْمَالُهُم فِي الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ. They will be in the hellfire and burning and all that stuff. We believe in eternal damnation. I mean, that's even worse than that for us. It's an eschatological reality. We say that this is nothing to do with you changing your faith. It's all to do, yes, with the allegiance or non-allegiance to a state. And if your bay'ah or the allegiance is premised on a theological reality, which is, yes,
And you believe that the state should be Islamic and everybody should be forced to pledge allegiance to the state, don't you?
no, I don't think that is any. Look, if it's a Muslim majority country, absolutely. Because if it's a Muslim,
Absolutely.
yeah, if it's a Muslim majority,
So what is the difference then?
no. If
You
it's a
believe
Muslim
that an
majority
Islamic state
country,
should be
then-
established?
I think if it's a Muslim majority country, then there's a democratic impetus for even on democratic worldview, for you to say, well, the majority are Muslim. If they want Islam, then surely on democratic principles, outsiders should have nothing to do with that. But if it's
So
not,
everything that you have said was just a complete waste of time, because you believe that an
why is it a
Islamic
waste
state,
of time? Maybe you don't
because be-
understand it. That's why.
because you believe that an Islamic state, an Islamic government should be established if the majority is Muslim.
Yeah, but the Islamic government shouldn't.
You, for example, want to spread Islam to the entire UK. So if the
No, I don't
majority
want
of
to.
the
Look,
entire
no,
UK,
to
if
be
the
honest,
majority of the
this
entire
has to be right,
UK
my
was
position.
Muslim,
No,
you
no,
would
no,
want
I
everybody
don't believe in
to-
that. I don't
to
believe in
adhere to
that.
an Islamic state, and this
Look,
Islamic state should require.
I don't
everybody to
want an
pledge
Islamic
allegiance to
state in
Islam.
Britain. I'm not asking
So
for an Islamic state in
if
Britain.
I, for example, left Islam in that Islamic state and openly spoke about it and openly spoke against this religion, then I would be put to death. And you would.
No, I'm not saying you're put to death. I'm not saying you're put to death under
This
any.
guy, like,
you just said
you're making it seem like we want to kill you. No one wants to kill you. Like,
Playing the victim.
no one wants to kill you.
I
We're
am
just-
not,
We're not afraid of conversion.
you cannot-
If you want to be
you
a Jew
cannot-
or a Christian or an atheist, that's your decision. I swear to God, I don't care. I swear. But I don't care about that. What I'm saying is
you are aware that the majority of your
I
fellow
believe that you will, for that reason, you'll be eternally damned in the hellfire.
you are aware that the majority of your fellow
truth is-
Islamic
Sorry?
scholars and apologists agree that that apostates who make their apostasy open should be put to death, including your friends Ali Dawa, including Daniel Hikic,
Yeah, well,
including many
look,
others.
so
We
let me
all
answer
agree on
that
this.
question. Let me
Do
answer
you
that
think they are wrong and you condemn them for that?
Well, here's my belief. I believe that what they're saying is they're mentioning a classical opinion in the books of fiqh or
They're
jurisprudence.
saying it should happen. They're not mentioning.
Well, if
classical
they're
opinion.
saying it should happen, my view is that if we actually have an Islamic state, and this is what I recommended in my book, it's in print. It's in print. Yeah, I'm saying that if there is an Islamic state, I believe that that Islamic state should have a peace treaty with a non-Islamic state, such that apostates, public apostates, don't need to be killed or are not killed at all. There's no harm done to them, and there's strategic relocation. And that is not despite the aqwal of the Prophet. It is because of the sayings of the Prophet. And the evidence of that is the fact that the Prophet ﷺ in Hudaybiyah, he actually had a peace treaty to that effect.
Is that without exception? for all apostates?
Yes, all apostates will be.
You think no apostate should be killed? They should all be relocated to different countries.
Absolutely, that's my view. I don't think.
I appreciate that.
That's a good idea. That's a really good
I
idea.
think that if you have a Muslim apostate, public apostates, because if you're private, if you're doing things privately, there's no harm on you. But there's considerable harm, as you know, on public apostates who apostatize in Muslim majority places. So those individuals should be relocated, in my view, to other non-Muslim countries, and that is not despite what the Prophet said. It's because of what he allowed in the final peace treaty that he concluded with Suhail ibn Amr. And in fact, Ibn al-Qayyim, in his discussion of this, and other scholars, I'm just mentioning Ibn al-Qayyim because it comes to mind, he says it's not abrogated. This is an unabrogated law. So if this peace treaty is in place, my view is that actually that should be what happens. Now, I've said this to you times.
I would like to reiterate this for the public, because I think this is very great news, because many other people, especially many of those who oppose Islam, would like to hear this in very short sentences. So Mohammed Hijab here agrees that Mohammed Hijab opposes the general ruling of the killing of apostates, public and private apostates,
Well,
and he agrees that if in an Islamic state, in an Islamic country, which a majority Muslim country should
let me
then
correct that.
Apostates should not be killed, but they should be forcibly relocated to other countries, which is still by definition genocide, but at least it is not death. So that is what you are agreeing with.
Genocide.
Well, that is by definition genocide.
It's not genocide. No, it's not genocide.
It is cultural genocide.
Look, stop trying to use words that you don't know what the definitions of them are.
It is by definition
Let
cultural genocide.
me tell you, can I just articulate it? Can I correct your articulation?
Sure.
Mohammed Hijab believes that in an ideal Islamic state in the 21st century, that if there is a Muslim country, Muslim majority country that claims to rule by Islamic law, that such Muslim Islamic country should make a peace treaty or a contract with other non-Muslim countries, such that if public apostates become apparent in the public sphere, that such public apostates are relocated. And he is basing this on the final hadith of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, where the Prophet, allowed such thing to happen with Suhail ibn Amr, and where the scholars of Islam, and in fact, you could even argue the majority of scholars, allow such thing. Mohammed Hijab is not saying it's not conceivable within an Islamic state, or it's not understood classically that there was such a thing, in the 1,400 years of Islamic history as public apostasy, punishments. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that there's a maneuverability within the scope of jurisprudence, Islamic jurisprudence, which allows Muslims to actually make this a kind of contract. And I think that if Muslim majority countries make such contracts, that will decrease the ability of the non-Muslim enemy, to be able to attack Islam and its peoples on the pretense of human rights. And I think...
Do you think it is not conceivable that there should be such a thing?
I don't understand the question. Sorry, could you repeat that?
You said you're not saying that it is not conceivable that there was such a thing in the history and in the past, the killing of apostates. Do you also say that it is not conceivable that there should be such a thing in our time or in the future? Do you think it? Do you think it is wrong, inconceivable, impossible?
I say that Muslim.
No, I know what you think. I know what you suggest. But do you think it is absolutely wrong and inconceivable that apostates, no matter what kind of apostates they are, should be
I haven't used the word inconceivable, because inconceivable means not possible, right? Sorry, I'm just going to put this on plain mode. It means not possible. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not making an argument from conceivability. This is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I'm making a policy recommendation for Muslim majority countries, and I've made that.
It's just a recommendation.
No, it's a recommendation based on the actions of the Prophet.
But that's all it is. So you would still, in the end,
it's based
in the end,
the actions of the Prophet.
Looking at the Islamic dawah scene, for example, the consensus is that the right thing to do is to put public apostates to death. You are, but
I'm not saying that. So therefore,
that is not part of the point. My point is, majority of people, for example, come together and think that the appropriate punishment for public apostasy, would be death. So if people now come together and established such a state, and they said this is the ruling that we should apply. Sorry, Mohammed Hijab, your suggestion is very nice, but we cannot do that because we agree to this. Do you think that is okay?
I've had conversations with policy officials in countries like Malaysia, and I've actually had the chance to influence their spokespeople,
That was not
and
the question.
I've given them these kinds of recommendations, because, as you know, Brunei is a country that is nearby, and they look at that as an example, because we're talking about maslaha and mafsada. Really, we're talking about what is in the common interest and what's not in the common interest. And this is something which many people like yourself, and on the other hand as well, Muslims, they don't understand. And I'm trying to educate everyone here that actually Brunei, when they attempted to put a full-fledged hudud laws, what happened to them as a country? They were under attack from all spheres, and they're too small to defend themselves. So how can they be a Muslim country? How can they do as much as they can do within the scope of the international, the waqa, or the international environment, whilst at the same time being faithful to their Islamic position? I'm giving them a very reasonable and practical solution. I'm giving people countries like Brunei. What do you do with what would you do with countries like Brunei when you have apostates in Brunei? If they try and imagine trying to kill a public apostate in Brunei. I mean, just think about that for a second. What do you think America would do? I think they would threaten invasion. I believe that.
Of course.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So for that reason, I don't think that it's within anybody's interest. And what I'm saying is that the fiqh, look, this is what I want people to understand. Islamic jurisprudence is wide. Okay, it's not black and white. It really is not black and white. I'm a traditionalist. You know that I'm a traditionalist. I'm not scared to tell you the most severe view of everything. But what I'm saying is Ibn al-Qayyim was Ibn Taymiyyah's student. I mean, Ibn Taymiyyah was the traditionalist, if you like. I'm a traditionalist. I'm telling you that this is fully in line. I want to confirm that what I'm saying is fully in line. But what I want people to understand, this conversation about apostasy now, I think we've done and dusted with it. If this is your strongest argument,
It is not an argument. This is
look, even if
you opened the topic.
We asked you for
I've given you the floor. Tell me what's your biggest objection against Islam?
So
This is what you presented.
no, this is not what I presented. We came to this topic because they kept asking me about ripping up the
All right,
Quran,
so we've
which was
solved
which
that
was
now.
what this was about.
That's done. So what is your?
It is not done. It is not done. I have to remark something. So your entire, we talked about this for 15, 20 minutes, and the entire talk was about how relocating people was a recommendation that is in line with opinion, with traditionalist Muslim opinion in history,
with the action of the Prophet.
Okay, in line with it, but that this is just one of the options, that you would recommend this because you would consider this beneficial. But this is just one of the. But this is just one of the options.
So what's the issue?
Whereas one of the other options is also that I should be put to death, for example.
Well, look, my argument is this. My argument is that classic. No, please, let's not trivialize these issues. Stop making yourself the victim, because
I am not making myself the victim. I am in no danger, Mohammed Tijab. I am in absolutely no danger. I can do whatever the hell I want.
Let me give you my reassurance.
I'm not scared at all.
I don't think you're a public threat. I don't think you're an intellectual threat. I don't think you're a physical threat. I don't think it makes sense for anybody to try and threaten you physically.
I am in no danger. This is not about me. This is ridiculous. It's not about me.
I'm not saying that we should be killing you. So what I'm saying now, look, at the end,
it's just a recommendation. That's it. So we're done with the topic. It is a recommendation on your part, and that's it.
Trying to get a nice headline for Twitter. That's what it was.
It's within our framework, isn't it? What I'm saying to you now, look, Islam, you have to understand, this is a branch, okay? Hudud and penal laws and so on is a branch of Islam. But really, we have to understand what the foundations are. The foundations of Islam is Tawheed. It's the idea of one God worthy of worship, that we believe that the creator God, right? And the fact that we believe that Prophet is the final messenger. Like, when you come to that conclusion, okay, then things that you might otherwise feel unworthy or aesthetically unpleasing and so on will start to become more sensical. You see, so you have to start with the roots. So
we can come to that. We can come to that.
You've given me one question, and I've answered.
We can come to that. Just the opening topic here.
We're supposed to start with the root, though, man.
This is
hey.
This is respectful.
No, you have not let me speak at all for not even once.
I haven't said a word for the last 15, 10, 20 minutes. We let you speak.
This is respectful.
Wait for your strongest argument. You have no argument.
Yeah,
we're waiting for it.
Adam Saleh and Slim here argued at the beginning that it is absolutely inconceivable and completely wrong to kill people for their beliefs, and this is completely not Islamic. Whereas I don't know if you can follow. I don't think you have been able to follow 10% of what Mohammed Tijab said. But Mohammed Tijab basically.
Give you a different question. The question was, what is?
You've given me one question. I think that's fair.
I've given you just told me.
Now,
You
all I
have
want
just
to
told
say
me
is,
that you always let me speak, and now
You're trying to get a clickbait title of Muhammad Hijab or Adam and Slim. Like it's just we're talking here.
yeah,
You need
go-
that click.
go
You're
ahead
trying
now.
to get-
Don't worry.
You should
Have a
Go ahead
leave
now.
the
Go
hate
ahead.
aside. Leave the hate aside.
Look, we're giving you the floor. What we're saying is Islam. Look, you have to understand Islam from the beginning. Islam is a religion about
I
one.
will not argue theology with you here. I will not argue.
No,
that with you.
it's not about arguing. It's we're talking here. It's not an
No,
argument.
I will not talk about theology here. No,
Oh my-
I made
oh,
I made a very
It's all
I made
theology.
a very it is theology. It is basic theology. I made a very clear offer to you. I said if you want to exchange opinions on whether
Brother,
Islam,
drop the offer.
on
We're
My,
whether,
already here.
my question
here.
is about.
man, why don't you just let me speak?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, here on Monday, man, I'm doing
You just keep saying this.
talking it out. Let's talk it. You're right here.
I made you an offer. If you want to talk about whether Islam is the truth or not, then we can unite and talk on a third party platform
Islam
where
is the
none
truth.
of us
I
is.
know what you want to say.
Jesus
Yeah, let's talk right
Christ.
now.
Then we can talk on a platform where none of us is in charge, where nobody can interrupt each other like this, so that we can freely talk about why you think Islam is the truth and why I don't think Islam is the truth.
Well, there's no
And
need to go through all of that. Look,
we
all I'm
could-
saying to you with all due respect,
why not? Why not? That is the
about-
most
we're having a-
that is the fairest, most professional way to have a debate.
platform. This is a big platform. What
You're
I'm saying,
you're not wanting to have a debate with me.
the biggest, probably one of the biggest Muslim YouTubers out there. You
You're
know,
refusing to have a fair
big
debate with me.
opportunity right now. There's
You're
no
refusing
need
to have a.
to go anywhere else. There's no. No, seriously, I
So,
mean, all I'm
this
saying
is
is
this is the fourth time that you are refusing to have a debate with me.
no,
And
I'm
making excuses.
No one's refusing.
What?
We're saying arguing.
We're
You're
waiting
saying
for the
arguing.
debate. We're waiting for him, man. I got my pop.
Please.
Come on, man.
I made a very clear offer. I will not.
grandstanding, please. Let's just have a discussion. This is not people want.
I am grandstanding because you're acting very scared. I'm sorry,
I
you're
don't-
scared of the topic.
Look,
You are
look,
What?
you
I'm
are scared of the topic.
Yo, it's
Of course it
I'm scared. It doesn't make Islam false.
is. No, it doesn't make Islam false. Of course it doesn't.
If I'm
But
scared,
it will prove a point to the public.
I'll tell you the truth. I don't think I'm scared. I don't- you know.
I think you are. I think you are.
What?
I think you are.
Okay,
And
fine.
I think you're scared.
I don't.
think I'm scared. It doesn't matter because that's
I know.
we're not having a fight.
The scared one hasn't said
I
his
know.
argument though. You didn't say your argument.
Engagement. You
You're
know,
not scared one.
It doesn't make Islam false, but that is the entire point. We should be able to come together and properly have a fair debate on whether Islam is the truth or not.
It's not
not about-
discussion now. We're having a discussion now. So all I'm saying is, look, I'll be very straightforward with you. There's 4 things I would say about Islam being the truth. I'm not even going to go through maybe 3 things, yeah, for the sake of argument. We say number 1, the argument from God. Tawheed, we say that there's only one God worthy.
Hey,
of-
you
Look,
know
look,
what this is?
I'll make it.
No,
I'll put it to
There-
you now.
there-
I'll put it to you now. I'll put it-
there will be people watching this stream because I am here who will normally not watch this stream. What is happening here is that by not letting me speak and only you speak, you will clearly make it look like you are making a big point and I cannot make a point.
Look,
Because
I'm
you
not
know-
trying to-
because
I'm not
because
trying-
you do not because you do
Respect,
not let me
respect.
respond. So you cannot use it. You cannot
You're
trick
wrong.
me into a conversation
I'm
and then
not trying
use this
to
as an
give-
opportunity
Yeah,
to
but-
propagate your ideas.
Look,
Leave the hate out, brother. Leave the hate out at your heart. Take the hate out your heart.
I'm not-
I deliberately said we should have a fair debate about things.
I want to hear what you guys to say. I want to hear what you have to say.
What I'm saying is this:
Come on.
Islam makes a case for itself. Okay, it makes a case for itself. We say that there's only one God worthy of worship. That all conceptions of God, other than the Islamic ones, if you look at the 6 major world religions, are actually incompatible with logic and incompatible with the predisposition. Number 1. Number 2, we say that look, the Quran itself has falsification challenges. It actually says if you believe that this book is from other than God, then please try and find. Or you would have found in it many contradictions. لَوَجِدُ فِيهِ اخْتِلَافًا كَثِيرًا.
I
So
have
there's
shown many of them.
challenge there to try and find contradictions in the Quran.
I have falsified the Quran on
Fine,
very high levels.
Do it now. That's fine. The inimitability challenge is to try and produce something like the Quran, which means that it has to go within the scope of. It has to do exactly what the Quran has done, which includes, by the way, telling the future, because the Quran speaks explicitly about future events, like chapter 30, verses 1 to 6.
And it is wrong. about them.
And yes, in many other places of the Quran, like chapter 24, verses 55 and onwards,
So
it's
yes, it is wrong about them.
explicitly about future events. And it does so accurately, even according to Western philosophers. And sorry,
What about the 60 scientific mistakes
now,
of the
what I'm
Quran?
saying to you is, if number 1, you said that you found contradictions in it. So my challenge to you now is to try and find a contradiction.
Do you think the stars are missiles thrown at devils, for example?
Well, chapter 67, verses 1 to 5. Where it says, وَلَقَدْ زَيَّنَّا السَّمَاءِ الدُّنْيَا بِمَصَابِيحَ وَجَعَلْنَاهَا رُجُومًا لِلشَّيَاطِينَ. First of all, it says, if this is your strongest argument, let me answer it.
No, it's not.
Well,
I will not make my stance dogma.
That's your argument.
I'm
You just
throwing
brought
I'm
it up,
throwing
brought
rock,
it up,
I'm
and
throwing
then-
I'm throwing rocks at you. I want you to answer this.
okay,
Since we're not
fine.
abiding by rules,
No
go
problem.
ahead.
وجعلناها رجوما للشياطين ولقد زينا السماء الدنيا. So the Quran says in chapter 60, I think verse 3 or 4, 67, sorry.
5,
It says,
67, 5, I believe.
yeah, 67, 5. وَلَقَدْ زَيَّنَّا السَّمَاءِ الدُّنْيَا بِمَصَابِيحَ. We have certainly adorned the heavenly realm with stars. وَجَعَلْنَاهَا رُجُومًا لِلشَّيَاطِينَ. And we have made it a pelting thing for the devils. Now, what is, first of all, masabih? So there's a difference of opinion. Some they say it's meteorite, some they say stars. And says rujuman leshayat, and we have made it as a pelting things for the devils. So it's saying that devils, because if you look at chapter 37 of the Quran and other parts in the very first 5 verses, sorry, you'll find that the sama' dunya, or the heavenly realm, is adorned with stars, has many functionalities of them to try and find your way, as the Quran says, of them so it can go around in orbits, as the Quran says. And by the way, the Quran says in chapter 25 that there are many suns, because it says, تَبَارَكَ الَّذِي جَعَلَ فِي السَّمَاءِ بُرُوجًا.
No, it does not.
Pardon?
What does it say that?
Yeah, it says in chapter 25, تَبَارَكَ الَّذِي جَعَلَ فِي السَّمَاءِ بُرُوجًا وَجَعَلَ فِيهَا سُرُجًا munira. There's two qira'ahs. One qira'ah says sirajan munira and surujan munira. So
What chapter, what verse?
I can't remember the verse here, but this you can just check it. Chapter 25.
That is most definitely untrue.
Well, I've just quoted it in the Arabic, so you can. Why is it most definitely untrue? I've just told you in the Arabic because I don't know the verse number. Sorry, I don't know the verse numbers. I haven't memorized the verse numbers. I've memorized the Arabic. So تبارك الذي جعل في السماء بروجا وجعل فيها. There's two qira'ahs. One of them is Siraj and Munira, and there's another one Suruj and Munira. The Siraj and Munira means a shining lamp, and Suruj and Munira means many stars. So a shining lamp means a star, and many suns, one sun and many suns. So in other words, the Quran says that there are many suns. The cosmic picture of the Quran, therefore, is that there are many suns, many solar systems, because suns are accompanied with solar systems, and that they have many functionalities. Of them, there is a metaphysical thing which we can't see, which is that the Quran, that the stars or the celestial spheres, they actually pelt the devils or the jinn, because we believe in this this creation called the jinn. We haven't created the jinn and the human beings except that you worship it. So these celestial bodies actually pelt them. How can you falsify that? I don't see the issue. But
Well,
the
you have failed to give me.
is not something which is seen as the cosmological picture of the Quran is not something which I would say is out of line with 21st century understandings.
You have not given me any proof. It is a very big claim to claim that that the Quran actually describes many suns or many stars.
You just said it
Yeah.
in chapter
I'll
25.
give
You
you
just said
one.
it.
I can
Why
get
don't you check?
Yeah.
You did not give me any proof.
I'll get it now. Sorry, let me just get a few now. But you remember, in the English, they want there's two qira'ahs, yeah? Tabarak alladhi ja'ala. So 1 second. Okay, good. This is verse
You just said it. I don't know. You gotta look for it, but
verse 61, chapter 25, verse 61. So there's two qira'ahs. There's one qira'ah was glory be to the one who has made in the sky stars, yeah, and has made in it many suns. One yani sun. You know a sun? Like the sun and the moon. So made many suns. And the Quran, here's my understanding of the Quran, the cosmology. You can interpret.
This is an outrageous claim. Every tafsir that I'm looking at, and including the modern and old translations, tell us that there are many constellations or stars in the sky, and that there is also a lamp,
Tabari says here, look,
a lamp and an illuminating moon, which refers to the sun and the moon. This is
but
this is a ridiculous claim.
it says it here. Look, I can read it to you if you want. It says, this is Tabari's tafsir. بروجا وجعل فيها سراجا يا اختلف القراء في قراءة ذلك فقراءة عامة قراء المدينة والبصرة وجعل فيها سراجا. So there's one way of saying it, which is سراجا على التوحيد. So that means one sun. That's what Tabari is saying. And the other ones say سروجا, yeah, وقمرا منيرا, which means many suns. That's what Tabari says. But you can't access Tabari because it's in Arabic, so it's not in English.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Well,
the point I'm making is that the cosmological picture in the Quran is one which can be in line with 7th century Arabian unscientific, if you're going to call it the unscientific understanding, but it can actually also be, and this is one of the arguments, another argument, it can actually also be in line with 21st century understandings of science. So,
it
for
cannot
example,
be.
pardon?
It cannot be. The general understanding of this Quran verse, for example, even according to the tafsir, to the most renowned tafsir, which is Ibn Kathir, and all the translations that we have, clearly says that this is speaking about constellations, and there is a lamp and an luminous light, which in other parts of the Quran is
Tabari is not
repeated.
available in English. This is the problem.
Is repeated numerous times. It refers to the sun and the moon. The lamp
Yeah,
is
it's
the sun,
true. Yeah, that
whereas
is
the
what
luminous moon is the.
there's two ways of reading it. One of them is like that. You're
So
right.
this is an,
No, but there's another way of reading it, which is surojan. So both of them are acceptable, and Tabari says that. So the cosmological once again, the cosmological picture in the Quran, and this is one of the arguments for Islam being true. Because let me give you an example, right? You know, the Quran says, يكور الليل على النهار ويكون النهار على الليل وسخر الشمس والقمر كل يجري لأجل مسمى. Chapter 39, verse 5, where it says that he makes he talks about the sun, the moon, and that yukawwir. Yukawwir here means that he rolls the night into the day, and he rolls the night into the day into the night. Ibn Hazm, and by the way, the Salaf, because there's a guy called Ibn Munada who's of the Tabi'i, he says this shows that the earth is round. Okay, this shows that the earth is round because takwir is when you wrap the night and the day around each other. Now, one easy argument I can make is the Quran, according to the Salaf, the early generations, the companions, and those who came after them, according to those people, and Ibn Taymiyyah actually has a sanad, which is muttasil ila Ibn Munada, believe that the earth is round. Now, there are some people who say that the earth is flat. There are some scholars who say that, but there are the Salaf. There are some scholars from the early generations who say that the earth is round. Whereas if you look,
there are many among them who say that it is flat. Why are we doing
good.
this selectively?
There's two interpretations. Yeah, I agree.
Why are we doing this selectively? So
I agreed with you that.
Okay.
Yeah,
I do not point out that this is that Muslims all agreed that the earth was flat and that this is what we should therefore agree on.
Here's the argument. The argument is that you're right. There are some Muslim scholars in the past who have said the earth is flat, but there are some who use the Quran to show that the earth is round. Now,
the opposite also used the Quran to say that the earth is flat. The others also used the Quran to say
from the early generations.
Well, there was also the Salaf.
Like who?
I cannot memorize names, but
maybe you're right. I haven't looked at it, but I don't think there's anyone from the Salaf that says that the earth is flat. Okay,
I'm sure. I can look into it and demonstrate this later.
Because according to Ibn Taymiyyah, actually Ibn Taymiyyah has a fatwa on this in Kitab al-Arsh in his Majmu'at al-Fatawa, and he says in it that there's ijma', there's a consensus among the scholars that the earth is round, and many like Ibn Hazm says that, Ibn Munada says that. Many.
So you said Ibn Taymiyyah?
Yes, Ibn Taymiyyah.
But he lived in a time where it was pretty clear the earth was around.
Yeah.
I don't think we can.
The Greeks knew that the earth was round. The Greeks knew it. I mean, I'm not trying to make an argument from that. Ibn Taymiyyah was 8th century or whatever, 728 AH. Mm-hmm. We're talking about the Greeks knew it. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that, look, if you look at the Bible, the Old Testament corpus, there's never been a patristic scholar, for example, an early church father, who has said the earth is round because of what's written in the Bible. They always refer to the Greeks, like Aristotelian logic. Whereas the commentary, the exegetical commentary in the Quran, allows there to be an interpretation which says that the earth is round, yes, and that comes from the Quran rather than from Greek sources. The point I'm making is that the Quran is compatible with 7th century understandings of cosmology, but it's also compatible with 21st century understanding. And both of them, you can find exegetical precedent for that. So, for example, when you're looking at many suns, many constellations, that the earth is round, you can find commentaries that go all the way back to the Salaf. You can find commentaries that talk about the expanding universe all the way back to the Salaf. All of these are afforded from the patristic sources about the Old Testament, for example. So yeah.
Look at this.
Testament with patristic sources. Yeah.
Look at this. We have many Quran verses. I in fact made a compilation of this. Many Quran verses which would, on a plain reading, indicate that the Earth is flat, that the sun travels over the Earth, that the moon follows the Earth. The Quran even explicitly, literally says that the moon follows the Earth, for example.
Yeah, but you've got
And if you read these on a plain reading, if you read the entire Quran on a plain reading, and you don't have any idea about the universe, about what things actually look like, you would clearly understand that our world is a flat, a plain
what you're
place,
saying,
which
but
above
yeah,
which there is a ceiling which
yeah,
could crack, which is being held up by things.
yeah,
But it could be very easy, for example, for the Quran to give us revolutionary information and to talk about space, which is not mentioned in the Quran, talk
yeah.
about galaxies, which is not mentioned, talk about
No,
different
I'm not making the
planetary
argument like
systems,
that.
planets, or the universe, for example.
Yeah, I
These are
understand.
things that we found out only within the last few centuries.
I understand, but what I'm the argument I'm making is not that the Quran says things scientifically which were not known at the time and so on and so forth. I actually say that there are many things about the Quran that were known before in Greek times and so on. My argument is sorry, I'm just my argument is in fact this. My argument is that the Quran is compatible with 7th century understandings of science or cosmology, but it's also has the unique multidimensional compatibility with 21st understandings. And that's not despite an eisegesis, it's because of an exegesis. So what I'm saying to you is this, is that this, if you look at the Bible, for example, there's nothing to indicate that the earth is round in the Bible from the clear verses. You could say, if you wanted to say that the earth is, there are scholars, there were people from the Salaf, from the early generations, way before telescopes were invented in Islam, that said that the earth was round. And they did that despite the cosmological evidences. They used chapters of the Quran, like Ibn Hazm actually used in his Kitab Fisal, he used chapter 39, verse 5, as a reason to suggest that the earth was round. Now, that's unique to the Quran, that it has the capacity to align itself cosmologically with a 7th century understanding and with a 21st century understanding. You see, so this is an argument I'm making that it didn't know things from this, not a Zakir Naik argument. I'm making an argument of the fact that the Quran, the cosmology of the Quran, is a cosmology which is compatible not only with the 7th century, but can be compatible with 21st. I'm not saying that there's no way. Yes, sorry, these people keep calling me. I really don't know why they keep calling Yani like that. Sorry, I'm just not.
Sorry.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, so you understand the point here. So these are arguments. Prophecies are something else. Like the Prophet Muhammad, we say, he made explicit prophecies about the future. He told us in many hadiths where Islam will spread. He told us Islam will spread to Egypt. He told us Islam will spread to India. He told us Islam will spread to Sindh wal Hind, India and what's now Pakistan. He told us it will spread to your country in Turkey, that the Arabs will fight the Turks. He told us that count 6 things between the hour. One of them is Moti. That Islam is going to enter Jerusalem, which is a place which is the crown jewel of the Roman Empire. Islam predicted the demise of the Roman Empire. Islam predicted the demise of the Persian Empire. Islam predicted the construction of very tall buildings. يتطاولون في البنيان. Islam predicted the advent of sexually transmitted diseases like AIDS and gonorrhea and so on. Islam makes predictions that I would argue, and this is a challenge, that there's no religion on the face of the earth that has been able to make so many challenges about the future, so many predictions about the future, and be so accurate in all of those predictions. So what I'm saying is that if you're
I would strongly contest that. I would strongly contest that. I would like to first off respond to the science point.
Yes.
You are of course arguing that the Quran is not only compatible with its time when it comes to science, but also compatible with modern times, like today when it comes to science. I would definitely disagree with that and say
not always. Can I correct that articulation? I'm not saying that Islam has to be completely congruent with 21st century science, but I'm saying what I said is the cosmology of Islam, or the depicted cosmology in the Quran, is something which can be harmonized with 21st understandings of Islam. Now, there are things, it's conceivable that Islam can sometimes go against science, because science is not an enterprise which is perfect. As you know, it's not an incorrigible enterprise. Sometimes it will change, and we know that. There are many things which change in science. It's called paradigm shift. Thomas Kuhn.
Okay, let me get back to the point then. I would definitely say that the Quran can not be seen as compatible with the modern understanding of science, because there are many examples to that where the Quran, for example, describes that mountains were put into the earth, that Allah made the earth a bed, that Allah is holding up the sky, that Allah sends rain from the sky, that Allah sends thunders from the sky, and so many more.
Why is Him sending rain from the sky against?
So many more examples.
Yeah.
That is only the scientific part. You could argue forever. I have made a huge collection.
No, I understand, but can I just can I comment?
No. You moved on to prophecies.
No, but before you get to prophecies, because you did mention a few points, I think it's like,
no.
Yeah.
You ended the talk of scientific.
just on the point on those examples you gave. So you see the examples that you gave on, like, for example, Mahd. The Quran refers to, you said, أَلَمْ نَجْعَلْ الْأَرْضَ مِهَادًا وَالْجِبَالَ أَوْتَادًا وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ, and so on in chapter 78 verses 1 to 4. It refers to the earth as a mahd, which is basically the Arabic word for bed, a resting place, as they. Now the question is, can the Quran, can it be interpreted? Can someone pluck out verses and make it interpreted to fit a flat earth model? I'm not saying no, but what I'm saying is that we have had early interpretations using the Quran, despite the cosmology, that agree that the earth is round. And in fact, there's more vigor in that direction. So in other words, more people, like, as I've just said to you, Ibn Munada from the Salaf. He's quoted by Ibn Taymiyyah in his Kitab al-Arsh in Majmu'at al-Fatawa. And look at Ibn Hazm. He was 400 years after the Prophet. He was saying, based on chapter 39 verse 5, that the earth is round. So the idea, once again, that the mahd, that the earth is a mahd, a bed, is not something really which is understood to indicate the shape of the earth. Because a resting place, a bed, it can be a cradle, can be something which you basically put in any kind of shape. Like, you cradle a baby in this way and so on. And if it was so clear, and this is the point, if it was so clear, someone who's a strict scripturalist, like a traditionalist like Ibn Taymiyyah and the Salaf, they would not be saying that the earth is definitely round.
I don't think that they have any authority over deciding what the Quran actually says, because they lived in a time in which it was the only reasonable thing to agree that the earth is actually round.
No, Ibn Munada does have authority from the Prophet, because Ibn Munada is.
When you look at this Quran verse, for example, like chapter 2, verse 22, it is He who made for you the earth a bed and the sky a ceiling. Look at this. I'm talking about the context. I'm not talking about just describing the earth as a bed. You could imply that it could mean something else. He made for you the earth a bed and the sky a ceiling, and sent down from the sky rain, and brought forth thereby fruits as provision for you. So do not attribute whatever to Him. It further says in following verses that Allah also put mountains into the earth. So
So he
imagine this.
The earth. What's the problem?
Rain is not something that comes from the sky. The sky is not something solid. The sky does not exist. The sky is only an appearance, only something that we have, that we see.
No, but the sky in the Arabic language, sorry, can I just correct you on something here? The sky in the Arabic, as-sama, في لغة العرب, in the Arabic language, according to to actually all of the Qawamis that I've consulted.
It's a barrier according to the Quran.
Pardon?
It's a barrier according to the Quran and the Hadith.
No, it's not. According to let me explain. I'll give you the references. According to Lisan al-Arab, which is one of the authoritative Qawamis dictionaries of the Arabs, the sky, whenever the word sama is used, it just means that which is above. Okay, that which is above. Now, the verse that you've mentioned, chapter 2, verse 22. هو الذي جعل الأرض فراشا والسماء بناء وأنزل من السماء ماء فأخرج به من الثمرات رزقا لكم فلا تجعلوا لله أندادا وأنتم لا تعلمون. Yeah, this verse, actually, what the word firash here, once again, it just means an expanse. And once many people have explained this, the word ard, and this is the problem, the word ard has more than one meaning. The word ard, which means here the earth, has the meaning of the earth, the planet Earth, but it also has the meaning of the land. It has that which is below, just like sama is that which is above, ard, which means that which is below. So
you could endlessly explain what this could also mean.
No.
I would like to give the average
in chapter 39, verse 5.
I would like to give the average Muslim viewer just one thing. Close your eyes. Think about it.
It's uncharitable.
Think about a.
What you need to do,
think about a scenario where you do not know what the Earth and the universe looks like. Think about it. You are in a place and you don't know what anything looks like. You don't know anything about modern science. Yeah. You open this Quran. This is the first thing that you read, and you just read it, and you only read the description of the Earth in the book. What will you think? The only conclusion that you can come to is that the Earth is a flat bed that has a ceiling on it which cannot be cracked.
That thought experiment has actually been done. Okay, like I'm telling you again, the thought experiment has actually been done because Ibn Munada is a tabi'i. Okay, which means the Prophet said, خَيْرُ الْقُرُونِ قَرْنِي ثُمَّ الَّذِينَ يَلُونَهُم ثُمَّ الَّذِينَ يَلُونَهُم. The best generation is my generation, then the ones who follow them, and then the ones who follow them. So there's 3 generations, golden, they call the golden generations. Ibn Munada is actually a part of the golden generations, meaning Ibn Munada is a Salaf. He is part of the golden generations. He is looking at the Quran. He doesn't have a telescope. He doesn't have any of these tools that you're talking about. And he says, according to, we have a sanad that is sahih, a complete sanad which is sahih. He says the earth is round. So it's not fair for you to say this is what's going to happen. I've got the evidence to the contrary. Someone who lived 1,300 years ago, looking at the Quran, because he's looking, do you know what he looks at? The verses that Ibn Hazm mentions, chapter 39, verse 5, because yukawiru comes from the Arabic word kura. Kura means ball. When it says yukawiru layla ala nahar, we call it nahar, we call it al-qadam. You know, you guys are Yemeni as well, you know.
Yeah. كرة القدم
Soccer,
كرة.
football.
So when Ibn Hazm, who is a literalist to the highest degree, he says that the earth is round because it says yukawiru, right? That the earth is round, and this actually was your strongest argument, I think, in one of
No,
your
it
videos.
was not. It was not. So what we're doing here, is that
Did you put that argument in one of your videos? Number
No,
one,
no.
the earth is flat according to the Quran.
I made a video on that. I made a video on,
No, but you said
many,
that's
on many
number
things.
one reason why you think Islam is wrong because
No, absolutely not.
the earth is
Absolutely not. No, absolutely not.
Wow, so you thought it was
This
wrong.
is not my number one reason.
So what is your number one reason?
My number
Well,
one
we-
reason, there are many
Howard.
number one reasons, but what we're doing here is that for 1,000 years, the Muslim world had no idea of the universe, the galaxies, the planetary systems, the sky, and anything. We have gone through many Islamic scholarly ideas, and many ideas that the Earth is the center of everything, that the sun goes somewhere at night. Even according to a hadith, Muhammad says that the sun at night the sun goes to a resting place, and it goes under the throne of Allah and prostrates under the throne of Allah and asks for permission to rise again in the morning, and then it's given permission to rise in the morning, and it comes back and rises, and one day it will not be given permission, so it will go back and rise in the west, which is inconceivable. The sun doesn't go anywhere. The sun is just here at the center of a planetary
you're
system.
talking about
We just revolve around
geocentricity,
it.
which is
No. I'm talking about this.
Let me
So the Muslim world. The Muslim world and the Muslim scholars had no idea how things look like. We have now recently understood how things actually look, and now we're selectively going back and choosing specific Islamic scholars and
Can I
trusting their
correct
ideas.
the point here is what I'm giving you is evidence from the early generations. So you can't say
We cannot just take evidence.
what do we do then? What do we do?
We
How do
cannot,
we solve this?
we cannot take. We
Can't
cannot
take
take.
what do we do?
Let me speak. This is why context is important. We cannot take selective scholars and their opinions at face value as single evidence that what you have said, for example, is entirely true. We could take many sources. I have taken many sources, much piece of evidence from early scholars who have argued that the Earth is definitely flat, who have argued that the Earth is definitely the center of the universe. We cannot argue.
What I'm saying is that look, the Quran says in chapter 3, verse 7, right? منه آيات محكمات هن أم الكتاب وأخر متشابهات فأما الذين في قلوبهم زيغ فيتبعون ما تشابه منه ابتغاء الفتنة وابتغاء تأويله. That there are some of the book has muhkam verses which are very clear cut and other ones which are ambiguous. Meaning the ones which are slightly ambiguous, which can have more than one interpretation, you can't say this. Like I will say to you, just as I say to some Muslim apologists. Some Muslim apologists say the Quran definitely says X, Y, Z. It says this. It says the expanding universe, the Big Bang. I'm saying, look, we can't be so sure to say that the Quran says that for sure. But at the same time, we can't say so sure. Surely the Quran says the earth is flat. I'm saying if you want to have a scholarly opinion, you have to allow for both interpretations to be allowed. What I'm saying is that we have evidence from the early generations that allow this interpretation, and we have evidence from the early generations which allow that interpretation. So those both interpretations are valid. We can't now confine something which is into something which is narrow, because
I'm just arguing
Islamic agenda. Some people have a pro-Islamic agenda.
No, I agree with that. You think the Quran is that it can be combined with today's scientific knowledge of the world. I disagree. I disagree with that.
Wait, my point is that it can't be combined. All I'm saying is this: sometimes the Quran will not combine with 24.
I understand. We have different opinions. It is fine. I'm not saying
so long as Islam allows for a multiplicity of interpretations within the scope of exegesis, you can't say this is definitely what it means. Just like I would say to someone on the other side, that the universe is definitely Big Bang because it says in chapter 21, verse 30, that كانت رتقا ففتقناهما وجعلنا من الماء كل شيء حي, that they were one piece and then we cleft them asunder.
That is a huge misinterpretation of what.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it means the Big Bang. I'm saying that you can't say for sure that's the Big Bang. In fact, saying for sure it's the Big Bang is problematic because then there's like 4 interpretations according to At-Tabari, and you're taking one of them and pressing it forward. What I'm saying is that allow the scope, because when the cosmologists tomorrow change their opinion on what the universe constitutes of, then we're going to go back to square one and try and reinterpret the Quran again. Therefore, all I'm saying is that the Quran, by and large, I'm not even saying fully, by and large, is harmonious with 21st cosmological understandings if you accept one of many opinions. I'm not saying that it's definitely in all cases. I'm saying that, yeah, you can interpret the Quran, if you like, in an unscientific way, you see, in the ways that you have. But what I refuse to accept is that that's the only way to interpret the Quran. And you can't say that it is, because I've given you evidence to the contrary. So
Yeah,
now,
but I think
now the challenge is as follows. The challenge is, as we said, we started off by saying the Quran it claims to be a preserved book, and I'm willing to defend that position. We talked about the prophecies. We talked about the fact that the Quran is multidimensional in its understanding of nature. We talked about the fact that there's no contradiction in the Quran. So the challenge now is for you, as one of the leading anti-Muslim polemics, is to provide contradictions within the Quran, okay, which are very clear and unresolvable from a logical perspective, or otherwise to show that there has been a prophecy that was made by the Prophet of Islam or the Quran that in fact did not materialize, that the Prophet or Islam said this will happen and the opposite thing happened, for example. These are falsifiers. These are things, these things have religiously disproving implications. You have to provide evidence, something that shows that this religion is wrong. Right now, all you've shown is,
I would definitely appreciate it if you also
understanding of the scope of interpretation in Islamic exegesis. And
so we have just agreed that we can have different opinions on these things because you can interpret things differently, but you have, and I have even accepted that your opinion and your interpretation may be true, but you have directly ruled that my opinion and my interpretation is definitely wrong and that it is just
interpretation can be true as well in terms of the unscientific stuff.
You just said it was wrong.
No. What I said was, if you want to say that the earth is flat, you're not going to be a disbeliever in Islam. Because if you say the earth, if you want to be a flat earthist Muslim, it's not a point of qat'i, you're a disbeliever. That's my view. But
I think the Quran says the earth is flat.
Yeah, fine. If you think that, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. But you can't say that that's exactly what everyone.
No,
thought.
I don't. I'm not saying that.
The early authority before the cosmological age, before the scientific revolution, before the Copernican revolution, before all of that, all of the positions that we have in science on a cosmological level now can be represented. I'm telling you this. Can be represented in early Islam.
Okay, that's good. I agree with that. I understand that. That's fantastic. It's fantastic. I find it fantastic that you have agreed that this is also a valid opinion. So
to disprove the Quran. So now, what are you going to do now?
No, I would appreciate it if you also referred to me as one of the biggest Islamophobes. I would really appreciate that because you have recently given the title.
I didn't say Islamophobe. I said leading polemics online.
That's actually very good. I appreciate that. It flatters me very much. But you know what? I actually appreciate this very much, Mohammed Hijab. I think this has been a very fruitful and productive conversation so far, and I think this is fantastic. We could have done this. I mean, you have allowed me to give you some information, to give you some knowledge on the Quran, to further your knowledge and your understanding of Islam, and to give you some education on this topic. And I think I would appreciate it actually, considering that we are able to have such a conversation, such a back and forth in such a calm and good way, that we could come together and have an actual debate. So, which is what I actually offered to you. What do you think? What do you think about having a debate?
I regard debates as a beautiful thing. I have debates on a weekly basis. I used to go to speakers' corner all the time. I've had 7 formal debates. Usually, to be honest with you, I've now reserved my debating for someone who is qualified in the subject matter. Unfortunately, you don't meet the criteria, but I did make an exception for you.
Haven't you told me that you would debate me in person?
But it has to be. I don't believe that you're the A side. I believe that we have more to offer you than you have to offer us. We have more social.
That's true. 100%. That is true.
I don't claim that.
Look, at the end of the day, if I wanted to fight Ngannou in UFC, and I'm saying you're a coward, Ngannou, you're a coward. How is he a coward? Or Stipe Miocic, I want to fight you, the heavyweight champion of UFC. I want to fight. You're a coward if you don't. He's not a coward. He's proven his worth. He's got the
That's,
UFC.
that's a completely different area.
I-
That's not how it
you're,
works.
you're coming to me. You're coming to me. I'm the A side. I've got the gold. I've got the qualification.
I personally think you're terrible in your understanding of Islam.
I have it. I've memorized the Quran. You get it? I've done the thing.
It doesn't matter. I know people who
I've done.
I know people who have memorized the Quran.
I've done what you haven't done. You have to allow me. You have to allow me. And by the way, when I say I memorize the Quran, it's still weak and stuff, and there's still bits I have to recite to the sheikh. So I have to be clear here. But still, having said that, here, what I'm saying is, I have done the training. Do you get it? I've been through 10 years of extensive training.
So
When you
again, I'm offering a debate, and
eating food and doing your thing and enjoying your time and whatever atheists do, yeah, and watching TV and Netflix, I've had to memorize stuff. I've had to read books. I was in a dark room reading stuff. I've had to read.
I can brag about my knowledge here too.
It's not fair. It's not fair that you're calling me the guy that has to come to you groveling. You're the guy that
You're not coming to me. We are doing something modern.
I know, but
to
you
London
asked all.
anytime. Come to London at any time. Come. We'll pay for your ticket. No problem.
No,
Yeah,
we're
down.
doing a modern debate.
I like if you want a debate, a formal debate. I don't like online debates. You get it? I'm a big character. I like to be on the stage.
Why don't you like online debates?
I don't like it, man, because for me, when it comes to debates, I like to actually get involved with the actions. You get it? I like to body language is a big thing. Right
To
now,
impress the audience. That is exactly why I don't want to have a personal debate with you, because I want to focus on the knowledge. That is, I want to focus on the knowledge.
engage the audience. I like to keep it. It's 3 hours. For me, my YouTube channel is a film channel. I don't even know why, but I realize why. It's because I engage people. If I speak in a monotone way and the way we're doing it online, people are
monotone.
engaged.
I will
So
not be
in a
monotone.
debate, like the David Wood debate that I've done, that's gone 2 million views, and people watch it to the end, man. 3 hours.
People- This
And
will
the
get
way-
1 million.
the
This
way
will
I-
get 1 million views.
When I'm on stage with the David Wood, I'm engaging. This is me. I'm putting my soul into it, my passion into it, my body language into it. Like
if we have a debate, it will have 1 million views.
if I want a debate, I have to put everything into it. Do you get it? So what I'm saying,
understand.
come down to London. We come down to. If
No.
you want a debate, I'm
No.
never gonna. I'll
Come
never
down.
back down from any Islamophobe on the face of the earth. Let me tell you this. I'll make it clear. Any Islamophobe challenges me in any way, any Islamophobe, and I'm not gonna retract this. It challenges me in any way, unless I'm physically injured or incapable. Yeah. If they challenge me conversationally, physically in the ring, in the on the stage, Oqsum Billah, I'm there. If I get knocked out, I'm there. If Ngannou, if Francis Ngannou tomorrow decided to be,
Yeah,
and
yeah. You have told me that I shouldn't be trusting you. You told me that I shouldn't trust you. Why should I trust you? Why should I come down to you and
I
say,
don't care. Look, I'm just telling you what I'm
told
saying
me
now. I don't care. I don't care. I fear Allah. You get it?
that I shouldn't trust you?
I look forward to death. I actually look forward to it. If it wasn't for my mum and my sister, my family and so on, I have to look forward
Didn't
to
you
it.
tell me that I shouldn't trust you?
Actually died. You get it? It's a way out of this testing life. I'd love to be.
Well, this doesn't make it easier.
No, I'm looking forward to death. I don't care about these things. I
Well,
don't
saying that doesn't make it easier.
care about death. Do you get it? Wallahi, I'm a Muslim. I'm a Muslim, brother. You
I
get
don't
it?
care either.
I am a Muslim. So I believe in a hereafter. I believe in a day of judgment.
Okay.
I believe in hellfire. I believe in heaven. I actually believe in those things, brother.
Preach.
I
don't-
believe eternally.
I think it's pretty ridiculous.
Eternally, people are going to live in the hellfire and crackle in there. And I believe that there's some people and they're going to be in heaven and they're going to live there.
And
You know,
you will live an eternal life without any purpose and nothing. You will live an eternal life doing nothing at all. Purposeless life in eternity.
we've got the evidence.
And,
Today,
and,
I want
and
you-
millions of years on Earth was completely empty, for nothing. Everything that we have done on the Earth, everything that we have done in history, everything that we have built, all the civilizations, all the knowledge will all be gone. It will be all for nothing. And the only thing there is that we will die and go to heaven and live without purpose
evidence?
forever and
Was
just
that-
have our
was that-
entertainment. What evidence?
Well, yeah, exactly. What evidence? Look,
What
what I'm
evidence?
showing you with is evidence. I'm showing you that the
What
book
evidence?
is authoritative. I'm telling you that, look, the Quran
We should debate that.
comes from Allah. How do we prove it? We show that, look, the Quran is cosmologically coherent with the 7th century and with the 21st century. We're saying it has no contradictions. We're
Okay.
saying it's preserved. I'm willing to defend these positions right now. I don't need to go nowhere or be
I
any.
would love to. I would love to have a debate with you
I'm
on this
saying
topic.
that the Quran has
Debating
no
with-
contradiction.
Right
I'm
now.
saying,
We're not debating. This is not a debate. This
I
is
know,
not
I
how
know.
debate works.
having a conversation. You're throwing things at me. I'm saying, look, I'm happy for whatever you tell me now. Your biggest evidence. We've seen your biggest evidences, because you have it online. You said you got 100 reasons why you're
No.
not. Number one is because the earth is flat.
I want you to stand before me and let me speak and then answer to me.
Pardon?
I
You
I
said the
want
earth is flat. I said the Quran says you kawiru layl an nahar. We're
I want you
So
I
how?
want you to I
circle?
want you to I want you to stand there. I want you to stand there and listen to me for 15 minutes to my biggest evidence or to my 3 biggest pieces of evidence. And I want you to respond to me for 15 minutes.
You said it online.
No, I have not. No, I have not. That's not true. I haven't said that. That's not true.
You said
That's not my
100
biggest evidence.
Why Islam is not? Why not to be a Muslim? Yeah, you have a video like that.
No, I have not.
You do. You say you count down. You're counting down the video. No.
No, I don't. I have a video called 10 reasons to reject Islam, for example. But that is not about rejecting Islam theologically.
Something about science. And at the end, you said that number one is because the earth is flat.
That is 60 scientific mistakes. That is specifically about the 60 scientific mistakes of the Quran. Sure,
Yeah?
sure. But
biggest
no,
We dealt with that.
no,
No,
it's not. It's not. I didn't.
that's number one.
It wasn't ranked. It was simply counted. It wasn't ranked according to
Why
what
no?
is
You said no, the
strongest and
number
what is
one
weakest.
reason. You said it. You said the number one reason was.
No, I have not. I have not.
Okay, we'll look back.
I was just counting.
saying is
I
that,
have,
look,
I have 3 main reasons why Islam is definitely not true.
Say it
And
now. Yeah.
And I will demonstrate them to you, and you will not be able to justify your beliefs.
Been trying for 1,400 years. Okay, look, the Quran says
And they have succeeded.
contradictions in it. Try and
Islam is dying.
pardon.
Islam is dying. People are leaving Islam in masses.
Pew Research. There's going to be 1/3 of the world is going to be Muslim at one third.
To 99.7% because of birth rates and the young age of Muslims.
Because that's a big chunk. 3% because of conversion. That's
No,
massive.
0.3%. That means 3,000 people in 100 years.
About that because
3
from what
million people. Sorry.
years 2020 to 2050, apparently there's been 4 million converts. But do you know we deal
I
with
doubt
converts
that.
according to Pew Research. Do you know from what I've seen?
Pew Research also said that the number of people leaving Islam and the number of people joining Islam is the same
in America,
and no, in the world. And
No,
the
no.
people.
it's the same in the world, man. Because otherwise there would not be a net inflow. What are you talking
Well,
about?
no,
Exactly.
according to their research, in which they explain,
Third of
in which they explain why Islam is growing, they're saying that,
Stop. That article you're talking about. No, sorry. I've written this in my book as well. It's in the book
no,
called.
and they are. What they're showing is that as many people convert to Islam as people leave Islam, and the issue here is that the vast majority of people who convert to Islam do it publicly, while the vast majority of people who leave Islam do
Well,
it secretly.
I can come back on that. Let me push back on that. You see, Pew Research published a research, and I think it was in 2017 or 18, and they actually said that the amount. And by the way, this is not an argument against Islam. Yeah. But anyways, let's go with it.
Of course, it's not.
Let me just come back on it. So, if Pew Research said that the amount of the amount of conversion into Islam is the same as the amount of conversion outside of Islam. Yeah, that was in the American context, and they had a methodology of 1,000 people that they interviewed, and they interviewed them on the telephone. And the majority of people that they interviewed on the telephone, by the way, were actually non-speakers of the English language. And we see that in methodology. If you go to methodology in the Pew Research, you have to look at they've got a methodological forecast here, and they say that a lot of them were actually Shia. Shia came from like Shah. Iran, and then when they came to America, they couldn't speak English. And they were already refugees. So it was a disproportionate number of Shia that were representing that study, Iranians that represent that study. And clearly, and I used to think that as well. I used to mention that to my congregationists. That, look, the amount of people that are leaving are the same. But when I looked at the methodology and when I actually published on this, because I actually published on this, and I've seen all of the studies, the demographic studies, in a book that I've written called The Scientific Deceptions of the New Atheist, which is actually free of charge in the Sapiens Institute. You can get it for free. And all of those demographics are actually flawed. What we actually find, to be honest, is that there is more people coming into Islam in the West than there are people leaving. And that's pretty much a general rule.
I'm looking at it right here. It's not about America. It's general. It's general. It's considered global. It is from Pew Research 2015 April. Projected growth between 2010 and 2020 to 2050.
No, you're getting it wrong. Do you know why? Because if it was about all of the people in the world, if it was about all the people in the world, then
It's not about America.
how could there be a net inflow? Because they looked at 2010 to 2050, and they said there was 3 million excess. net inflow. So there was 3 million converts. But by the way, from our experience, because we deal with converts all the time. From our experience, in-house studies, we found that the majority of converts are actually private converts. Just like when people leave Islam, they're privately murtad or whatever.
That is definitely not true. Most
How do you know
people
it's
who
not true? What's your evidence?
because we see it. We don't need evidence for that. You don't need evidence for something that is so
see it, no.
obvious out in the
You
out
gotta
in the
make a
world.
sociological point.
always-
Evidence.
The vast majority of people who leave Islam do it privately. They don't do it publicly because they are scared.
Yeah, people are interested.
I know many people who do it privately, including in Muslim countries.
agree.
They have to have it on their ID cards, for example, and they don't get out of it.
People that
Whereas
leave
people who converge,
because they're a part of a culture, a dominant culture, which is, let's say, Christian.
it's not true. It's not
How do
true.
you know? Do you know how we know it's true from the British context?
How do you know it?
Yeah, because there was a study that was done. It's also in my book in the bibliography you can find. That there was they looked at census data because in England, in the UK, you have census data every 10 years. And that's probably one of the best. It's like the demographic gold standard. So they looked at census data 2001, 2011, 2021, 2000. We haven't done 2021 yet, yeah. But they looked at 2001, 2011. I think they looked at 91 as well, yeah. So this in that period of time, they look at the amount of people that identify in the census as Muslim, and so when they churned the numbers together, they found that actually, yeah, the numbers were one thing, but when they did small-scale sociological studies, they found that converts were less likely to tell their family members and therefore write in the census data that they're Muslim. Therefore,
That's
what
likely. That's all we have.
No,
That's
'cause
likely is all we have.
they are, it's usually the leader of the household is writing it down. So they'll write down, if their kid has like a 16-year-old in their family has become Muslim, they don't know about it. They're gonna write Christian because they don't know that this guy's become Muslim. We know, like.
Well, I could say people who smoke are less likely to go to the gym. That doesn't mean
Area. It's a dark area. We don't exactly know the numbers. Exactly.
I know, but I could say people who smoke are less likely to go to the gym. That doesn't mean that people who smoke generally don't go to the gym, or that the vast majority of them don't go to the gym. It may just mean that 2% more of people who smoke don't go to the gym.
What we're saying is that Islam.
That's not how statistics work.
No, it's disanalogous because you're talking about correlation versus causation. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the fact that when people become Muslim, they're also quiet about it. Just like when they leave Islam, they're quiet about it.
Well, we don't have any substantial evidence for that.
Pardon?
We don't have any substantial evidence for that. I've just
before there is good evidence from.
No good evidence.
You can refer to my book for that if you like.
Fine, let's leave it. Let's leave it that way.
But before we leave it, I just want to say something, okay?
I would like to reiterate the one thing. I challenged you to. I challenged you to discuss.
A big audience of Muslim people. This is one of the biggest Muslim YouTubers on the net. You're not going to get an opportunity like this again, believe me. Your opportunity is. Believe me, Adam Saleh, am I wrong? You're one of the biggest Muslim.
The biggest Muslim podcast in the world. We have most of our viewers are Muslim, and in this podcast, we
you got the biggest Muslim podcaster.
I would like to reiterate what I said before. I think it would be a unique thing. I think it would be a unique thing for the biggest ex-Muslim influencer and the biggest Muslim apologist of our time to come together and to actually have a debate on the topic.
I already had a debate with David Wood.
Is Islam the truth? I said ex-Muslim. He's not an ex-Muslim. For the biggest ex-Muslim and the biggest Muslim apologists to come together and to have a debate on whether Islam is the truth.
Face to face. What I'm saying to you, look, of all due respect,
are you accepting the initial offer that you accepted, which is an online debate or not?
I don't want to look.
So we have had a conversation. So you have no conversation here talking to me, but you have a conversation by having an online debate.
No, what I'm saying to you is this: look, you have an opportunity. Your goal in life is to try and show people that Islam is false. You have an opportunity.
I will use that opportunity once you allow me to have a debate.
You even want to postpone that?
This isn't going nowhere.
He already
isn't going nowhere.
He already had his.
At the end of the day, you asked a bunch of questions. Mohammed Hijab answered a lot of your questions in a very great.
He didn't answer anything. You don't even know anything about Islam. You just said that at the beginning of our conversation. What are you talking about?
That makes you. What do you know about Islam?
You just openly said that you don't know anything about Islam just before we started.
Where are your credentials?
He knows more. He
studied it. He has degrees in it. I'd rather have someone who.
I know.
More,
I'm saying.
craziness or anything.
Slim, I'm
so
saying how can you judge this when you clearly said that you have no knowledge of Islam?
Language.
I'm judging.
No degrees. Look,
I have no training. I have no degrees. Well, you have certificates.
what are you good
I
at?
can, you know what I could. You have three.
What's your field?
You have three certificates, right? I could go and I could
Reason of leaving Islam was
I could pay $4,000 to get a certificate in Islamic studies, and then I would be qualified to the
That's you got to do 10 years of study to come back to me.
10 years. Have you studied each of your 4 areas for 10 years?
All together.
Not of course not. Because
No,
you have studied
I was
you
doing
have,
it.
you have studied for,
7 years.
you have studied some of them for just 6 months or 9 months. I could apply for.
You're not getting this.
Have you not? Have you not?
Subject you
Have you not? How long have you studied for a certificate?
Look,
How
if
long
you
have you studied for a certificate?
pardon for
How
each
long
one
have you studied for a
depends on
certificate?
like for the ones like I've done in the political philosophy. Look, this
How long
is
have you studied for that certificate? I'm
Which
talking about certificates, not about degrees.
like 3 years, 2 years for another one, 1 year for another one, 2 years, and you
1
add it.
year. You can get a certificate in Islamic studies for 1 year. I could go and pay
on, do it.
$4,000 and
Go
do
on,
that. Would that mean I am now qualified to debate Islam with you?
Islamic seminary though. Like
No, I'm asking you the question. I'm asking you the question.
people have to go through Islamic seminary. Like
I'm asking
when
you
you
the
go through the seminary in Islam, then you can come back and talk.
I'm asking you a question.
Here's the thing is, look,
I'm asking
you
you a
do
question.
not have.
If I paid $4,000,
Do you
if I
agree?
paid $4,000 and I got a
You don't have the
certificate in Islamic studies, would I then be qualified to debate
Yeah,
Islam?
Do you know what it comes down to? Let me tell you something.
I'm
Yeah.
asking you a question. Can you just answer the question?
Again?
If
You can
I
answer.
paid $4,000 and got a certificate in Islamic
Oh, you got to
in
show
Islamic
your worth.
studies,
You got to do your work. Go and do the. What are you laughing at? What are you laughing
you
at?
have certificates that you got in 1 year because that's how a certificate works.
You're not going to go to a doctor and say, "Well, what certificates you have?" Oh, I've just been doing online videos. No,
So
you
you're
got
not qualified.
has certificates. The guy has his qualifications. Otherwise, you're not going to go to that doctor.
So Mohammed Hijab is
Why should we go to you for Islam? Why?
Mohammed Hijab is qualified in 4 areas, including having certificates of 1
Yeah,
year.
what areas?
I
That's
would not be, but I would not be qualified in Islamic studies by getting a certificate.
I can talk about political philosophy if I want. I can talk about history if I want. I can talk about comparative
You
religion if I
don't even understand freedom of speech. You don't understand moral philosophy.
want. Why? Because I've been through processes. You haven't.
You have the poorest understanding of moral philosophy that I've seen in my life.
That's according to a layman. Do you get it? You're a layman.
It doesn't matter whether I'm a layman or not. I will never study philosophy.
You have a misunderstanding of
I
Islam.
went to the doctor and said to him, "Look, I don't care what you prescribe for me. Yeah, I'm going to tell you what you should prescribe for me." You're going to say,
Okay.
"Look,
I
layman."
would just like to ask a very brief question, Mohammed Hijab. A very brief question. Can I ask
So
you a very brief
You're
question?
not ready for this because you know what? Here's the reality of the
Can I ask
situation.
you a very brief question.
You're on the public, or you've asked.
Think-
You've been
think-
asking questions. I've allowed you to ask me all the
Do you
questions.
think that because I'm an atheist who doesn't believe in God,
I can
do you
answer.
think that because I'm an atheist who doesn't believe in God, that means I have no morals? And
Okay, let me
you
answer the question. Let
You
me
have no morals by ripping
You
up.
ripped up the Quran. Yeah, that's what I'm
Oh my
saying. Yeah, you
goodness,
just, what?
You-
Where are
I
the
think you're
morals
weak.
there?
I'm sorry for people like you. I'm sorry for people like you, Apus. I'm genuinely sorry because
let me answer.
what are you doing with your life right now?
Adam Saleh, you have an IQ of 80, 85, man.
You don't have an IQ
Stop talking to me about apis.
of 1. You're a loser. You're a loser.
One,
You're a loser.
one is not how IQ works. So
Turkish people do not claim you. Turkish people do not claim you.
I don't care if he's an athlete.
Subscribe it. He's a creative. No,
I am deeply sorry. If you insult me, I will insult you back. That's what just
I'm not.
happened.
I'm going to
Mohammed
say
Hijab,
look.
so
Adam Salah has an athlete.
Mohammed
His
Hijab,
body.
I'm asking you a question. I don't care. I have no muscles here. I have no muscles. I don't care. It means nothing.
relax. We're just saying you're
Your
childish.
masculinity means nothing.
Your question about morality.
I'm asking you a simple question. Because I do not believe in God and because I am an atheist, do you, as somebody who claims to be an expert in philosophy, do you think it is right to claim that I can have no morals and that it is therefore for me completely indifferent?
Rip the Quran. You laughed at someone eating the Quran.
Answer your question.
Like you just lost.
Go ahead, answer the question. As far as I've
You have no morals.
No, let me answer his question. On a philosophical level, yeah.
Good.
I'm not saying that atheists cannot have morals. I
you
would
said that.
atheists. What?
You said that to me.
I've never said
He did
everything.
He just said no. He just said he doesn't believe that.
that. No, hold on. Let me tell you my answer.
Yeah,
innit? Let me ask you a question. Can I
Okay,
answer?
go ahead, answer.
Sorry, come on.
Go
So
ahead.
I'm not saying that atheists. That's never been what I said. I've never said that. I'm very careful with my articulations.
Sure.
I never say that atheists cannot have morals. What I will say is that an atheist cannot have a claim to objective morality, which is different. So I'm saying this: on an atheistic worldview, yeah, you can't tell me anything morally. You can't tell me you should do this and you shouldn't do this. Why? Because on atheism, you have no mechanism which anchors morality.
The expert.
I've done the work. You haven't. That's the difference. So there's even people like John Stuart Mill. We talk about liberalism. Yeah, they candidly tell you there is no proof that can tell you objectively in the book of on utilitarianism that there's no proof to show that this is objective morality. So what I'll say is that you can never make your major arguments. A lot of your major arguments yourself and many of the people like you against Islam is how is this and this is immoral, this and that. What I'm saying to you is that morally speaking, yeah, as an atheist, you have no anchorage, meaning you cannot claim anything is objective. Otherwise, I'll say to you, look, give me your mechanism, because you're on the record of saying that bestiality is okay. You're on the record of saying that
I have never said that. I have never said that bestiality is okay. I've never even talked about bestiality.
incest is okay. You said incest is okay.
No, I have never said that either.
You said that.
What? You think incest is okay?
I have never said that.
Whoa.
I've seen that
Hey,
DM
yo,
on
man.
Ali Dawa, and I see that DM you
I
sent
have
Ali
never
Dawa,
seen
and I've seen what you wrote.
We will see
I
if
have
you
never said that.
Hey, man.
I've said to Ali,
Yo.
I've said to Ali Dawa. He asked me, "Do you think it's okay for the father and the son to have sex?" I
Yeah.
said, "If there was no harm to society and to the
Oh,
individual."
Whoa,
There
no
is
harm
already,
to
like,
society.
whoa,
Whoa, hey,
like,
yo,
Shut
wait.
up. I said, if there evidently was
Whoa.
no
Hey,
harm
yo.
to society
Whoa.
and to the individuals in having incest, then there would be no problem with it.
Well,
But
You
that
said,
is
Wow.
not-
wow.
but that is not reality because
the hump
but that is not reality because
using the
What's
hump.
going on?
such a intercourse will have harm on the individuals and the society, which is why incest is not okay.
Can
Which
you
is what I clearly said?
objectively prove the hump principle?
We could go lengthy into the discussion on
No,
that.
no, I'm asking you right now. You said something. You
I
made
will
a
not, I will not discuss
You
it.
asked me to
I
prove
will not discuss it. I'm correcting this language you made.
objectively prove the hump principle.
No, I will not.
You cannot. That's the answer. That you
I
cannot.
will. I will. I can and I will.
No, you
Within-
can't. John Stuart Mill couldn't.
within this week
do it,
or
no,
next
do
week.
it.
I
Look,
will not know.
Let's not pretend to be a.
Wait. I do not believe that there is intrinsic objective morality. I
Sorry?
don't believe.
You don't
I
believe in morality.
I don't believe that there is inherent objective morality.
Doesn't make
which
sense.
does not- which
Objective
does not-
morality. Objective morality.
Do you understand philosophy at all? There is
And I've got the degrees.
there is morality. There is morality on a descriptive level and then on a level in which you prescribe it to society. I do not believe that intrinsically there is objective morality in the world. I do not believe.
Sorry, I don't understand that. Sorry,
I do not believe that a human who is born into the world
Yeah.
has objective moral values. I do not believe that.
No, that doesn't make sense. What you're saying
I
doesn't
do
make
not believe
sense.
that. I
Your
believe that there
articulation
may
is flawed. Your articulation is flawed. Your articulation is flawed.
What is flawed?
No, do you know why? Because what you're saying is, I do not believe when a human being has. Morality is not possessive in that sense. You're all over the place. You either
No,
believe in
I'm saying that
either believe in objective morality or you don't. You're either subjectivist or objectivist. Which one of the two are you? Are you subjectivist or objectivist?
fine. I do not agree. Let me say it in different words for you because you don't understand basic.
No, because you don't understand English as a first language.
you don't
I
understand basic English.
don't try it.
So-
Don't try it. You
for-
didn't make sense in your articulation. Now you're trying to make me look like the person. No, your articulation was flawed. So now say it in a proper way.
And for a brute like you, I would like to say there is a difference between saying a society has intrinsic morality and the difference between saying a society should have morality or
What-
a society
what
should
society
have morals. A society has
What?
morals.
Do morals exist as
I am saying-
objective reality or not?
Oh my-
Yes or do you,
That is
is-
not how this works. That is not how this works.
yeah, really. So there's something that's called moral realism. What's more? Are
An
morals
atheist- an
morals
atheist-
objectively real or not? Are they real or not? Are morals?
a person can have objective moral values, subjective moral values, relative moral values, and
What are they? Are they objective or subjective?
What?
In your view?
What? Say it again. I didn't understand you.
Okay. My question to you is so simple. Like,
What?
my question to you is: morality, is it objective or not? Are there such a thing as objective moral?
I don't think so.
So okay, good. So and therefore, all of your moral arguments have collapsed against Islam.
No,
So today we
they
collapsed all
have
your scientific ones,
They have
and
not.
we've collapsed all your moral ones.
No, they have not.
Yeah, because anything that you say about Islam now,
That's not how morality
anything
works.
that you say about Islam now morally doesn't make
That's
sense.
not how morality works.
It's morality.
That's not how
Object-
morality works. You do
That's
not.
not how morality works. So that
you have-
yourself don't believe it's objective. It's not true. It's not objective.
A nihilist, for example, can be a nihilist insofar that he does not believe that there are natural moral values.
Nihilism is not synonymous with objectivity. Right?
What are you talking about? A nihilist may believe that there are no.
Yeah,
that
it's,
there are
I'm
no
not
moral
saying
values.
they're not subjective. It's not synonymous. Nihilism is something which is.
Of course, it's not.
Yeah,
Nihilism-
so you're
nihilism
saying
is
you're a
not-
subjectivist. If you're a subjectivist,
I am not.
you said you're not an objectivist. You must be a subjectivist. What are you then?
He just said that.
No, stop pretending you. Stop
Wait.
Well, I've studied this. You have not.
Did you just say if I'm not an objectivist, then I must be a subjectivist? Is that
You have to be. If you're not, if you don't believe in objective morality, what are you laughing at, man?
So if I don't believe in objective morality, then I have to believe in subjective morality.
Yeah, because either objective or subjective. You've got two choices. What's the third option? Go on.
Thank you. I
Bro,
will
you're
go-
not even on
I
A
will
levels.
go with that.
Bro, I swear to God, wallahi, uqsum billah, you're not even a C grade A level. You're not even a C grade. If I was to mark your work, bro, you're not a C grade.
Understanding of philosophy that I've encountered in my life.
You're not on, bro, a year 10, year 11 in ethics can get a better understanding of it. But I'm saying a 16-year-old, a sharp 16-year-old will see that you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Now, what is the other option? You've got objective morality, subjective morality. What's the third one?
2,000 years of moral philosophy.
No, go on,
all-
say it. What's
all
the
for
ththird
nothing.
option? You've either got
2,000 years of moral
you have no
philosophy, all
answer.
for nothing. Because
You've
you
either
cannot-
got objective morality, subjective morality. What's the other one?
What
What's
is
the
it? Do you think there is no other option besides objective
Yeah,
morality?
yeah. I'm saying there's only it's either objective or subjective. What's the third one?
So you think there is only objective
Oh
morality?
my God.
What's the third one?
To say
What are you laughing at? That's not an answer, bro.
I will make a video response to you because I think this will be
You
hilarious.
don't need to make a video response. If it's not objective, it has to be subjective.
No, it's not.
You're gonna get laughed at. You know, Cosmic Skeptic, them guys, they're gonna laugh at you, bro. They're gonna associate with this idiot. With all due respect, you have not
They
even
can't.
a level
They can't.
understanding of morality.
I have just asked you.
It's either
I have
objective or not. If it's not objective, it has to be subjective. There's no other option. What can it be? There's no crossover. There's no middle ground. It's either objective or not. That's why you got it all wrong. That's why your criticisms against Islam are flawed because you don't even have a basic understanding of moral philosophy. You don't,
So,
and you can't pretend you do. You have done
to the Muslim viewers who don't understand philosophy very well.
Bro, you don't know it. You have no.
I want to say,
oh my God.
You don't know
I'm
it.
saying to all those viewers who don't understand philosophy very well, I would like to say, so
Including you.
what Mohammed Hijab said about objective morality is, for example, completely wrong. Which is,
Go on, give me the third option.
if I don't believe in objective morality, for example, if I'm
Yeah.
a person who doesn't believe in objective morality,
Yes.
that doesn't mean that I cannot have objective moral values. It can mean that
I'm
my
not saying that.
objective.
I'm saying you either believe in objective morality or you believe in subjective morality. There's no third option. What's the third option?
You have just clearly said when I asked you, you have
What's
just
the
clearly,
third option? What is the third option? Stop laughing. Stop pretending.
when I
you know
just,
what
when I
you're
just
talking
asked,
about.
when I just asked
Thank you.
about whether-
Thank you.
When I just asked you about whether an atheist can have objective morality, you said that if
Bro,
I don't
you're-
believe in God, it's not.
Oh my God. We know he said that. What's the third?
I'm not
Bro,
coming to the third option. I'm not
Atheists
coming to the third option.
had hope in this guy. The great
Atheists can have objective morals. An
Bro,
atheist can have
subjective. There's no third option. What is
Atheist-
the third option?
An atheist may have objective
What's the third
morals that are.
What's the third option?
An atheist may have objective morals that are not based on the belief in God, for example, which is.
That's a different discussion. You either believe in objective morality or subjective morality. You're saying there's a third option. What is the third option?
I will say it to you. I will
Because
surprise you with
What
that.
is the third option? You will not.
There is a third
There is no answer.
I- Let's leave it by it. I asked you the question. Look, I was the one.
With all due respect,
Mohammed
if-
Hijab,
look,
was I not the one?
allow me to teach
Was
you.
I not the one who asked you the question?
Allow it. Just
Was I
allow-
not the one who asked you the question whether there are only three? Proof.
submit to the knowledge. Allow it. What I'm
Was I
saying.
was I not the one who asked you whether there are only two?
Pardon?
I was the one who asked you
Yeah, I
whether
said
you
either objective or subjective. What you got the third? What's
Right,
the
we're done. I asked you this question because I want
Yeah,
to
yeah,
respond
yeah.
to you.
I'm asking you, what's the third option? If it's not objective, it has to be subjective.
I will not respond to you because I know how you.
Well, why don't you answer the question? You're not answering. He's answering all your questions. You're not answering his
For the
questions.
same reason that you're not going to have a debate with me online.
Empty head. That's the reason why.
No, for the same reason that you're not going to have a debate with me online because you're scared.
Bro,
of
look,
You know what? I don't think this thing is even going anywhere.
I know. I think so. Like,
You haven't shown your abilities, to be honest.
I'm playing by my standards. You're playing by your standards.
Whatever,
I'm
man.
playing by my standards. I will take my discussions to my platform and respond to you. And
We
people will laugh at you.
scramble. You really have nothing to say, do you? You really have nothing to say. Because here's the thing: we talked about the science, and we realized that
I challenge you to a debate on whether Islam is the truth,
admitted that.
and you have been
Now we're
scared
going
to
to
debate one simple topic with me.
No one.
If you don't
Oh
believe
my
in,
God.
if you don't, which you've said, you said you don't believe in objective morality. If you don't believe in objective morality, which means this means you know what the implication is? The implication is this. The implication is any argument you make against Islam, which is moral. If you're asking about age of consent or apostasy or penal laws or anything you want to ask, from this day onwards, you have no right.
That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
That's why. You
It
can't
mean that
prove
my morality. It
prove
could
it.
mean that
I'm
my
asking
morality
you
is
to
based
prove
on
God. I'm asking you to prove your morality.
I could, for example, argue that morality is completely based on utilitarianism, for example.
Yeah,
which
but
is one
John
example.
Stuart
Which is
Mill
one
and Bentham, Jeremy Bentham, who's the founding father of utilitarianism, these individuals never said that it was objective.
What? It doesn't depend on individuals. This is not how it works.
It does.
Utilitarianism
Utilitarianism is based
is
on
an
Jeremy
idea.
Bentham's ethic.
Utilitarianism is an idea. It doesn't mean that it has to abide by the
Who,
ideas.
who, who made the idea of utilitarianism? Who is the philosophical founding father of utilitarianism?
That's not how this works. Philosophy doesn't work in a way that if you have
Who put forward utilitarianism?
let me educate you.
You can't, because I'm telling you, who is the founding father of utilitarianism? You can't even answer that.
Is this another?
Yeah, I love
Have you read Jeremy Bentham's books?
One more question. Is this
Have you
another
read it?
time?
Have you read it? Honestly, have you read it?
Is this
Have you
another-
read it? Who is Jeremy Bentham?
Is this another assertion that you're making?
Jeremy Bentham.
If you abide by a certain moral
is Jeremy
philosophy,
Bentham? Who is he?
you have to agree with one
Who
person.
is Jeremy Bentham? Who is he?
Is what you're saying that
No.
is what you're saying that if you abide by a moral philosophy, you have to agree with what one certain person who founded the philosophy or who has influenced it.
No, I've not said that. What I'm saying is this: that
That is what you just
no,
implied.
the definition.
I can have a
utilitarianism.
I can
What's
have
the
a
definition of
utilitarian
utilitarianism? What's the definition of utilitarianism?
I can have a utilitarian point of view while
What
not abiding by certain.
I'm asking you a basic question, man. What's
Never
the
answers no question.
You're not asking a question.
what's the
I mean,
definition of utilitarianism?
for
The greatest number.
it depends. For example, if a society decides that
Right.
if a
You have
society decides
Don't
if a
pretend.
society decides that I'm answering your goddamn question.
Go
If a society decides that something is good, that something is better for society, to which they come as a result of the common consensus or due to new findings, then it means that this will be a law that society has agreed on, and this is utilitarianism.
No,
So
it's
if
not
you-
really. That's not a definition of utilitarianism. Utilitarianism is not defined like that by any moral or political philosopher. By the way, and I've written essays on utilitarianism.
I'm really curious.
I've written, by the way, I've got something written on utilitarianism as well. It's called the
Something is
Problem
good
of
for
Liberalism,
society,
and you can
if-
find that on for free. Mohammed Hijab, put it on Google.
If something is good for society, that is good.
Liberalism, and you can find it for free. I've written about the stuff you claim to talk about. I've written about it, bro. I've published essays.
What will you nitpick now? What will you correct?
Well,
If something is good for society is good,
Don't
what will you
pretend to
correct?
arrogate to me. You're not a professor. You're not my senior.
I
Do you get
just
it?
told
If
you,
you're my
utilitarianism-
At this point,
not-
I feel like A plus you should just go and read Muhammad Hijab's books because you seem like you're very lost, very misunderstood with Islam. So I recommend you to go.
one thing on this.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get back. Let's get back.
Please, just allow me just for a second, yeah? Utilitarianism.
I've just
No,
described
just
what
give me a second. Give me a second. Let me just let me educate you. Let me share my knowledge with you. Innit? What's wrong? You educate me from your little no knowledge, from your Google search. Let me educate you with knowledge. Let me tell you what's going on. Utilitarianism, yeah, it's really the greatest good, the greatest number, the greatest utility for the greatest amount of people. Now,
So isn't that what I just said?
allow me.
Isn't that what I just said?
No,
Isn't that what I just described?
Hold on for a second. Hold on. You didn't. You used democratic logic. It's different. What I'm saying
And
is,
that's what I said. It's
what
not what I said.
Jeremy Bentham in his book said, listen, what Jeremy Bentham in his book he said it's interesting because there's a Quranic argument against this. It's really interesting. He said you've got two lords. You've got the Lord of pain and you've got the Lord of pleasure. What the Quran says, أَفَرَأَيْتَ مَنِ اتَّخَذَ إِلَهَهُ هَوَاهُ. Have you seen the one who has taken his own desires as a god? So it's interesting. The Quran has actually addressed utilitarianism in an interesting kind of way. Now, the thing is, what John Stuart Mill said is that, say, if you have a gang rape scenario, yeah, this is a common analogy that's put forward. You've got a gang rape scenario. So you've got one woman, and then you've got 5 men, and they're all having their goes with her, and she's not wanting it. She's getting raped, yeah? She got finished. Now, in this situation, is this good? Now, obviously, according to utilitarianism in a strict sense, it's allowed because obviously there's no harm principle in place. So John Stuart Mill said, look, in order to allow society to function, we have to put a harm principle in place. So that's how utilitarianism kind of was absorbed into social liberalism. Yeah. Now, with social liberalism, here's my point. John Stuart Mill, who really was a utilitarian at heart, and by the way, his father James Mill was Jeremy Bentham's friend. They were buddies, yeah. Like this guy who wrote about utilitarianism, his father James Mill were friends. Now he wrote a book. Now in that book, he said on utilitarianism is the name of the book. On chapter 4, yeah, he talked about proving utilitarianism. Now he didn't name it like that. He named it a long thing, as Cosmic Skeptics told me in the debate. But anyway, he took like a long title. But it's candid in there. He talks about desirability. Yeah, he doesn't in any way, shape, or form try and say that utilitarianism is in any way an objective morality. This is the problem. What I'm saying is you're saying you can have objective morality through utilitarianism. But Jeremy Bentham and John Stuart Mill, who were the philosophical founding fathers, they candidly said you can't really have that kind of thing. It's more to do with it's not meant to be an objective morality in that sense. So in other words, if you're pegging your moral value judgments on utilitarianism, you can't go and attack the Quran because you know why? You don't have an anchorage. You don't have an objective morality.
So I have just described utilitarianism.
The Quran says this and that. You can't say based on utilitarianism, because even according to those guys, and all the way through to today's scholarship, I'm telling you, I've read the journals, bro. I have read the journals.
I have just described utilitarianism. You have described the same thing while telling me it was wrong.
I've read the journals. I've read the books. I've done the research. I've done the degrees. Please don't arrogate to me. Yeah,
Dear Muslims, please listen to this honestly.
It's not an argument that utilitarian liberal ethical scholars say that actually utilitarianism is an objective morality. It's not. They know it's
I
not.
wonder if you will actually release the whole talk. Yeah,
It's
I really
not an argument. Therefore, if you want to make a moral argument against Islam and say, well, Islam is against this and therefore Islam is wrong, it's a false argument if you're basing it on utilitarian. If that's your seed bed, if that's your intellectual and epistemological seed bed, it's not going to work. So what I'm saying is that now
you don't have to have you don't have to have a specific morality.
And since morality has crumbled, what have you got left?
Exactly. He's just laughing.
So by disagreeing with me, you have destroyed me. That's how it works.
My question is, what you got left?
By disagreeing with me, you have destroyed me. Is that how it works?
It's not you. Look, I'm not here to destroy you. You're not worthy of me.
You have number one agreed with my definition of
weak argument. You don't know.
When you describe it in the same way as then argue that we have destroyed it.
My
everything.
I
agree that we have disagreements.
More than you
have argued that you have destroyed me.
Hey, boss, at this point, you just sound really childish, and you sound like you have an IQ of 39.
Some viewers, if you want to make Islam win, you just have to respond to people and share your opinion. Because if you share your opinion, that means
you're just. I have to be honest. I thought you were going to come swinging. Slim, bro. I thought this guy had packed a punch. I thought he had packed a punch a little bit because he was coming rough on Twitter. He was coming tough on Twitter.
He was coming to crack. I thought
this guy was eating the Quran.
You are an idiot.
Literally. Yeah.
I'm finished.
All of his understanding of Islam. Your religion is.
I have to say this.
Take him. You're a fraud.
You have been finished.
Hey, puss. Hey, puss.
To defend your religion.
Hey, puss.
You've tried your best.
Yeah, remove him.
Hey, puss. It was good having you. Thank you for.
I think at this point,
for nothing.
You're not up to Muhammad Hijab's level.
You got nothing.
You did not prove nothing. You finished.
Now, but the atheist.
And you're finished.
You're lying.
And you're finished.
You're low knowledge.
And you're finished.
And you're finished.
And you're finished.
May you go read the books of Muhammad Hijab and
your wife,
see guidance.
Why care if I
blessings?
Anyway, who cares about your wife? She's
peace and blessings.
You care about your wife, right? If people want to rape your wife, would you care about
peace and blessings? Peace and blessings.
Shall I remove now?
Remove.
Your wife is a second Islam.
Out of here. That's it. He's out. He's done. We're done with this guy.
Muhammad Hijab. Honestly, I'm so much respect to you for your patience. So much respect for you going through with these ex-Muslim haters, because some of them I feel like they're just against you. They're not against. Go to the Zoom. I feel like they're against you, not against. Like they're just trying to use you as look, but they have no way out. When they talk about.
Look, I'll be honest with you, Adam. Like this guy is meant to be one of their main guys online. Yeah, he with his social media and this. They're backing him. This was I seen it. Present the best he could present. So he started talking about science. Okay, when he talked about science, we realized that he realized, whoa, this guy's got answers from the early generations. So he's trying to say, because it's true. He has a video saying that the top whatever reasons why Islam is false, and then he mentions the shape of the earth. So I thought, okay, let's look and see if he's speaking the truth. we realize that actually early scholars of Islam were saying the earth was round based on the Quran. So that's nothing. That's not even an argument. And then we talked about morality, and that's where he really struggled because
Yeah.
he doesn't know philosophy, he doesn't know these things, and he hasn't been trained in them. And that's why he shouldn't get like I would like for example, I mentioned Ngannou, but I wouldn't want to get into the ring with Ngannou because I know it's gonna cost me my life maybe or contact.
Yeah.
You get me? But why would you come into an intellectual arena with someone who's clearly done more work than you have, yeah, and studied?
100%.
And also that you're coming as a teacher. You're not a teacher. You're a person who's ripped up the Quran. You're acting arrogantly. But when you're actually put into an intellectual arena, you suffer miserable losses.
Yes.
This is a horrible loss. Like, what actual point has he made today that's made any Muslim think Islam is false?
Nothing at all. I feel like that he was just trying to take advantage of me and Slim because he knows that we're not that knowledgeable about Islam and don't know as you, mashallah, you proved he just felt stupid to me. He just seemed so childish, and he's using us as having a low IQ. He was trying to take advantage of our platform. So I'm so thankful and grateful for
Bro,
you being here, Muhammad Hijab.
At the end of the day, yeah,
Yeah.
you're saying you have low IQ. Who is he to say that to you, bro?
Yeah.
You guys, both of you have shown your creative potential. Yeah, you have done many things for the community. You've raised money. You've done him and the rest of the apostate friends that he's got and the Islamophobes. I want to know where really they've raised money. Where have they done good for the community like you have?
Nothing.
Yeah,
I don't think they've ever.
Their platforms, they've got big platforms. They're taking money, but they're not giving back to the communities. They have not done fundraisers, and that shows you, like, to be honest with you, on a practical level, yeah. These people are actually just all talk. And this is the reason why people like that never want to come face to face. Yeah. They never want to come
100%.
face to face with those who can actually disprove them. They'd prefer to prey on people who haven't done the studies. And that's a coward's way.
Yes.
Yeah,
I noticed
exactly.
that.
Yeah, that's what.
A guy called David Wood. It's on 2 million views. Yeah.
I seen that. I seen that one. I seen it. He even made like a video other day. They're just haters. I feel like they're just haters of Islam, and so all they do is mention them being against Islam.
Any
That's
way
all.
if they could take anything you guys say and just flip
He's
it.
being rude, yeah. The guy, when I saw him, he was petrified.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'd be petrified if I see someone who's 6'7".
It's 3.
Come-
He's a big man himself, but I looked at him.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Man, it's on video. It's on YouTube. He came.
Yeah, I saw that you
Yeah.
rejected him.
I'm over there.
We were in an area that was dark by ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I looked at him, yeah, and I saw him. I said, what? I'm not going to do nothing to you. I'm not going to put your this guy was complaining about his safety being in danger, and this is their narrative: the Muslims, these otherized Muslims that want to attack you and kill you and stuff. No one's asking for your death, man. Stop
Yeah.
pretending to be a victim so you can sponge.
Yes.
This guy here, yeah, he's sponging off his followers on Patreon, yeah.
Yes.
I've got a Patreon.
Wow.
You have a Patreon. It's no problem. Have a Patreon. I've never asked anyone to go on my Patreon. Yeah.
Yeah. Now we're gonna make a Patreon soon, but definitely we heard about Patreon.
Patreon. Yeah. But I'm saying that
Yeah.
at the end of the day, this guy is taken from these people. But when it comes to actually performances, look at his performance, bro.
Yeah. Nothing at all. It's like someone who's hyping it up, about to go to a boxing match, and once they go in there, they just get knocked out. That's how I seen it.
Bro,
But you're right. He's not at your level. He's not at your level, and he makes it seem like he's this teacher and this on Twitter. He's talking, oh, listen, all that, and and then you go in.
I rate you, Muhammad, for dealing with people like this all the time. Like, seriously.
Oh, but with these kinds of people, I'm like, if it was just me and you, I'm really like want to have a conversation with you guys on the level, and show you.
Yeah, of course. But I learned a lot from you, even throughout this talk. I learned a lot more, and I'm pretty sure to everyone that's watching, they learned a lot. And I'm so glad that Ali Dawah told me, because I was about to get manipulated by him. He's making it seem like trying to trick me, like, oh, you seem very nice. You seem very nice, blah, blah. And then I'm glad it went this way. It went this way where we had him and he was trying to like take advantage, and it came unexpected, just came out of nowhere.
His face, man, his face when he saw you join was priceless.
Yeah.
Honestly, he's like, no,
Yeah.
Muhammad Hijab, no, I'm
Yeah,
not speaking to
no.
Muhammad Hijab.
In the beginning, he said, I would love to speak to Muhammad Hijab. Like, he made it seem you couldn't hear him, but he was like, I'd love to speak. I was like, okay.
Yeah,
And then you started talking, and then he just,
I want to hear that bit, man.
yeah, no, you definitely said it. You definitely said
He
it.
was going crazy.
Trust me, it's gonna be a very it's
Oh.
very like what do you call it, popular episode of Socially.
Oh, a very, very interesting episode. He got literally finished.
Yeah,
Halas.
yeah, that's it,
Gone,
that's it.
gone. But Muhammad Hijab, I want you to tell us more about yourself. When did you start? No, honestly, like seriously, I have some. We have a few questions. Like,
Yeah.
when did you start? getting into this and going all over, online and these
Giving
people.
debates and stuff.
Yeah.
Bro, I'll be honest with you, like I've always, when I was in school and stuff like that, like when I was 15, 16, 17, I started to become a bit religious, yeah. And I had friends of mine and stuff like that that I wanted to share Islam with them. So it's always been it's always been in my vein, in my blood,
Mashallah.
to try and share Islam with them, because I come to the conclusion that we actually have evidences for Islam. I was trying to present that to him, yeah, the evidences to Islam from God's existence all the way through to the prophethood of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yeah, we have evidence. We're not coming with just believe in blind faith. We're not coming with this kind of rhetoric. We're saying we have evidence for everything we want to say, from the existence of God all the way through to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we say, look, in terms of the existence of God, to run you through this, we say you can either come from nothing, or that the universe created itself, or that there must have been some kind of creator. And we say, logically speaking, it makes more sense that there was a cause to the universe, and that cause was the intelligent cause, the one who created the universe with all this kind of like fine-tuned qualities. Yeah, if the earth was just a little bit to the left or to the right, it would be too hot or too cold. We would not live.
Yeah.
The properties of the universe are finely tuned for human existence. And then when you look at the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself, and when he came with the evidence, and that the fact that he himself had the Quran, and the Quran, like I said, is preserved. We have the evidence to show that it's preserved. There's no contradictions in the book. We have the evidence, and we're willing to argue with anybody on this, that this book has no contradictions, and because something is a contradiction is not true. So this book is free from contradictions. Number two. Number three, we look at the fact that the Quran talks about the future events, and I spoke about some of those.
Yes.
And subhanAllah, it's amazing how accurate the Prophet, there's the hadith. I'll just give you one taster example. I gave some already, but I'll give one more. There's a beautiful hadith I was thinking about the other day that was talking about in the future there's going to become a time that the people are going to be reclining in leather seats on something called sarj. Now, suruj, kind of similar to the word surujan, which means sun.
Yeah.
But this word here means basically like a boat, but here the Prophet ﷺ is talking about something that's going to be gliding on the earth. He said that there's going to come a time where people are literally driving in these vehicles and they're going to be reclining on leather seats. And obviously here it's talking about cars, subhanAllah.
Yeah.
And this is a hadith which is real. So we have the Prophet of Islam 1,400 years ago telling us about cars and telling us about yatatawaluna fil bunyan, the fact that there's going to be long, tall buildings, and telling us about all these things that are going to happen in the future, historical events that are taking place. Wallahi, there's no religion on the face of the earth. Wallahi, there's no religion on the face of the entire earth that is so accurate and that is free from contradictions and which has a perfect understanding of God, which is that he is one God worthy of worship. There can't be two gods, because if there was two gods, they would outstrip one another for power. So we have all the evidences, the logical evidences, the historical evidences, the scriptural evidences. We have all the evidences. When I realized that, and I wanted to share it with my friends in my school, I shared my, and I started doing that. And then one day I went to Speaker's Corner, and Speaker's Corner is like 20 minutes away from my house. So I used to go there. And then, subhanAllah, it kind of happened naturally where we used to go there and stuff. But before that, I was deeply interested. So I wanted to learn the Arabic language. I wanted to do these things. I wanted to memorize the Quran. Do you get it? I wanted to go through Islamic seminary. I wanted to learn philosophy. I wanted to learn history. I wanted to learn theology. I wanted to learn these things so I can engage with people, man. Like, I want to do it on a level where I don't want to be talked down by an Islamophobe. I don't want anybody to come and say, look,
amazing.
I don't want that. So if someone's coming to me and say, look, I'm going to talk down at you like this guy tried to do, I'm going to say, no, sorry, I've done the training, bro. I can come to you and say, you haven't done what I've done. And I feel like that's a community thing, that I'm a servant for the community. As a Muslim, I want to be a servant for the Muslim community. So I'm sharing this knowledge just for me, like 10 years worth of, 10 years of work, because I feel like I want the Muslim community to benefit the most from the most cutting edge arguments that we have to offer. Yeah, and we work as a team. So we have brothers like Zishan, Zishan.
He's
a creative expert. He's like amazing when it comes to technology and this and these things, and he knows the arguments as well. You have people like Sabur Ahmed, who's an expert in evolution. You have Ali Dawa, who's great with the youth, and he's looking into these things, and he knows how to. He's a creative expert himself, man. He's very clever. To make Dawa appealing to young people is not easy.
Yeah,
we have
100%.
Yeah, man. And we have people like Hamza Zorsis who've written 100,000 page books like Divine Reality. who like we put our life into this because we love Islam, we love the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. You know, we love, we want to do as much as we can for the community. You get it? And that's
Wow.
really where we are. And I really, with you guys, wallahi, the moment I saw you guys, and to be honest with you, I saw like the drama between you and Dawa Man and Ali Dawa and all that kind of stuff. I wasn't involved.
Yeah.
Uqsum billah al-azim, yeah. I thought to myself, man, do you know what? That's not the approach I want to take with these guys, because I saw something else. I saw like these guys are. There's a few videos that you had, and I thought, oh, these guys are pro-Islam. Wallahi, I said that,
Yeah.
these guys, I know these guys are pro-Islam. I don't care what they do.
Of course,
Yeah,
of
I don't
course,
care what they do. I don't care who. I'm not saying astaghfirullah what you do, like do anything.
Yeah.
I don't care what you do. I knew it. I can see from the passion that you guys had that these guys were pro-Islam. And wallahi, I made dua. And I know Dawa Man said that because I saw that beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I made dua for you guys. I said, may Allah, wallahi, I said this maybe about 3 or 4 years ago.
Mashallah.
When I first came across your video, I said, may Allah make them be the people who spread Islam and at least make the community, yeah, the Muslim community, give them something back. Whether it's charity, whether it's basic education, whether it's helping them out, whether it's tackling Islamophobia, or a combination of these things. Or whether it's humanizing Muslims. Bro, you guys do a good job in humanizing Muslims. You get it? You guys do,
Yeah.
because people think Muslims are some. Look at this guy. How he's trying.
Yeah.
He was trying to
Yeah.
put us as some killers, bro. And we are not.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
he's trying to
He's trying to
He
get a
makes us-
headline. He's trying to get a headline.
he's
Like
trying
about
to-
saying something, and he's like,
It just- yeah.
Adam Saleh and Mohammed Hijab approve of killing a prostitute
Yeah.
in this.
Exactly.
That's what he's looking for. He asked that same question for like 25 minutes. I'm like, is this
Bro,
your
I'm
point?
happy
Like,
to look, Rope Dope. I'm happy to take, because the thing is, we have the answers, bro. And we're not.
Yeah.
even
Of
course, of course.
This is my answer. Wallahi, I'd say this to a Muslim. I'd say this because I'm the kind of guy. You know, I've been in trouble for saying things that are wild. I don't care. Like, what? I'm protected under law. This, you know, I've been fired from places. Like, I say things and do things that I don't care. And to be honest, if it's truth, it's truth. But having said that, this is the truth I came with. I'm not trying to distort the religion. I'm not trying to bend the rules. I'm working within the thing. So what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, like, I think with you two, wallah al-azim, you guys, wallahi, make me smile. You guys have incredible potential, more so than all of the Dawah guys combined. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Mashallah, wallah.
You
I
two-
appreciate it.
Yeah.
I
No.
appreciate
You
it,
know why? Because you have access to a different kind of market. You are mainstream. We are getting there, but we're not in the level that you
Nah,
guys are. But
Nah, nah,
you've humanized the Muslims. Like, one of the things is that people that they otherize us. They think that we're wallahi. They literally, you know, that image of the guy that's cutting the neck off, and you know, they want to make it a caricature, like an ugly image of this Muslim who wants to kill you and take off your
yeah,
land.
yes. I noticed that they try to make you, when in reality, mashallah, you're a well-respected, smart man. You know, and they're just trying to bring you down. But
It's not just
honestly,
about me, it's about the whole entire community. They want the entire
Yeah.
community, to be looked like that,
Yeah.
so that
Yes.
we can be deported, or so that they
Yes.
can go into our countries and invade them. And you see what's
Yeah.
happening with Yemen now. You know,
Yes, yes.
subhanAllah, what's happening with Yemen, and how many people are talking about it? How many people? You guys are.
Rarely,
I'm guilty.
yeah.
I actually feel ashamed of myself because I went to Rohingya. I went to Cox's Bazar on the border with the Rohingya. I went to Africa. I've done campaigns, but I haven't done too much about Yemen. And I'm, you know,
There's still time. There's still time. There's still definitely
I
time there.
actually feel sometimes, why haven't I spoken about Yemen that much? And you guys have done a beautiful job of that, you know, raising money and these things. And bro, this is not, these are things that really, bro, you're saving lives. It's a big.
Honestly, we look up to you. We look up to you, Ali Dawa, Smile to Jannah, Dawa Man, all you guys. We look up to you guys so much, and thank you guys for having our back when people like this who try to tarnish, you know, Islam and try to make it seem like, because if it wasn't for you guys, you know, giving the knowledge and even, you know, teaching us too and teaching everyone who's watching and listening, then we wouldn't know. You know, at the end of this day, we know that Islam is the truth, and this guy was just a phony. He was just literally a phony. It seemed like he was just going on and trying to take advantage and
You're right.
and give people doubts of Islam. But we appreciate, well, honestly, we want to learn more and definitely speak a lot more. We need to do another episode with you, like a full-on episode with you, you know, because this guy was it's so much better talking with you than that guy was just
anytime,
cool.
brothers, anytime you guys need me, I'm there, bro. I'm telling you, because you guys, like I said to you before, I look up to you guys. Do you know what? And
Nah, you told, man.
Nah, you look down on
We
us,
look up
man.
to you.
Yeah, we look up to you.
it's feeling like the Dawah community that we're, a lot of the brothers are judgmental. A lot of the brothers, I feel like, oh, we're doing the right, and we're waiting so you can go kiss a girl or, you know, do something haram so we can make a refutation video. To be honest with you, here's what I want to say to you,
Yeah.
Us, making a mistake is 10 times more problematic than you making a mistake. Because what us as the Dawah guys, so
Yes,
guys,
yes,
we're meant to be representing Islam on an intellectual level. You guys are not. You guys, so
Yeah.
yeah.
if we are trying to get fame, yeah, through religious goods that we're selling, let's say for the sake of argument, like, we are 10 times worse than you because we're doing shirk asghar. We're doing what you call riyah. We're using the religion to try and become famous. You guys are clear that you're not even using the religion. You're just having fun. So if
Yeah.
you guys are doing haram, yeah, it's haram is haram. We're not going to say it's halal, but
Yeah.
we're
That's a fact.
using the religion in a sense that's an added problem, bro. So you guys need to tell us, like, check us with our intentions. This whole thing of we're here to check you guys. No, it's not.
No. This
guys
that's in the past. That's in the past.
Bro,
We're grown, and honestly,
I feel like
we come to you guys now. We come to you guys now to ask you guys. Honestly, you can ask even Ali Dawah and Dama. I message them, I message you too. Like, what what should I respond to? These people who try to make Islam look bad and they try to bring us down. We bring you guys. And as Slim said, this made us all unite. People like this made us all unite because I remember I did something messed up and I wanted to stop. Having this this haram thing that I was doing. I wanted to stop it, and Ali Dawah and Dawah man, they just helped me, and I felt like it was a sign from God and a sign from Allah too to have you right now, and it's making all of us, just getting better every day, getting closer to Allah every day, getting closer to Allah every day.
I also saw that I saw a video of yours that I really like. It was a video you're responding to Logan Paul about God. He was talking about God.
Yes,
I
yes.
love that video so much. And inshallah, I really hope you do get in his podcast. But he follows me on Twitter, so maybe I could
bro,
slide him a
tell
little
I don't-
side.
him I'm ready for
Yeah,
it.
he's
I'll
gonna
DM.
tell
I
him.
got you.
Yo,
I'll
Logan,
slide,
It's
I'll
not
slide,
gonna
I'll
be
slide a
like
little DM for him.
here. I don't think Logan Paul's ripping up Qur'ans, and I don't think it's
Yeah.
No.
He's more open to. He was
I
more
feel like-
open, but I think you'll be a great candidate
Yeah.
to like really represent Islam and speak.
I'm
Because
happy
you're very
to go on
educated.
the podcast, bro, and talk to him. I'd travel for that because, to be honest with you, the
Yeah.
Muslim community requires, like I said, representation. And
Yeah.
I'm really, really I'm glad that he's paid attention because he actually mentioned in one of his I think he said there's a Muslim guy, and I think he was talking about
No,
Ivan.
I think he was talking about you. I think he was talking about you.
He's big words in it, so I think he might have been talking about me. So if it is me, then I'm happy to travel whenever the COVID allows, or if he wants me to do it on podcasts like this on Skype or Zoom, then that's easy to arrange, So
Yeah.
After you, if anyone listening and watching, make sure you guys go tag Logan Paul and tag Muhammad Hijab. Let him know. I feel like Logan Paul would definitely listen and be more civilized than that child, Apus. So I would love to see you guys together and talking. I feel like Logan Paul, even though with the whole boxing stuff going on, I feel like he's also really smart.
Yeah.
And you two also really smart.
the biggest mistake Logan Paul made is that he made it a boxing
Yeah.
match with him and what's his name, KSI, because
KSI, yeah.
I saw this guy actually doing a grappling match with Costa. He's
Yeah.
you know
I know the UFC.
yeah, UFC
He's
guy.
pimp.
He's
He's fighting next month.
Adesanya, yeah.
Oh, Costa against
Adesanya, he's
wow.
fine.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but he was wrestling.
Oh,
with
you
him.
saw Logan Paul wrestle Costa?
Yeah, he's
There was a
wrestling.
clip of him like grappling, like wrestling with Costa, and
Costa,
wallahi,
yeah.
this guy was giving Costa a run for his money, and I'm thinking, if you
Wow.
did an MMA match and if you learn how to put your punching and your bloody thing together, you probably would have destroyed KSI.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. MMA would have been different.
I think that's what he wanted first. I think that's what he wanted MMA first.
Yeah, I'm
but then
trying.
change to boxing.
I'm trying to big him up a little bit so he can put me on the podcast. You know what I mean?
No. I think he definitely has a lot of potential, and he's never had an episode where he had someone who's someone like you. He's never had anyone like you on his podcast, so I think that would be really, really amazing.
I think it would be interesting too, like just to see like someone of the Western world, talk with Muhammad Hijab, one-on-one talk about Islam stuff. So I think it would be very interesting, and it'll be good to reach out to a broader audience besides just Muslims, to people who are just trying to find themselves in their faith. So.
Since he follows some on Twitter, after this we're gonna DM him.
I'll DM him. I got you, Muhammad.
And
Hijab.
we see what's up.
Inshallah, he'll
Hopefully,
reply.
inshallah,
He
yeah.
replied to me a couple times, but inshallah, I got you.
Beautiful, bro. If you guys need anything from me at all, bro, wallahi, both of you, I'm at your service, honestly. And just
My brother, seriously, honestly, with everything, I'm like knowledge with Islam, I would definitely contact you because I always feel like I need to get it through you guys first. I feel like I look up to you guys. I look up to you. Before I was looking at it as hate, but now now it's seeing people trying to laugh at us fighting. Nah, that's not it. This
They've
is
been doing that
it.
for a long time. Like this guy David Wood, apparently, because when you made that video about when you went on what do you call it, the airplane, they were being racist to you and whatever.
Yeah, he's done plenty of videos. I mean, that guy is that guy's a clown.
Yeah, he's
That
a
guy's
clown, man. Like, and these guys have, even when you were doing that, they were attacking you. So there needs to be an intellectual You know, there needs to be a knowledge-based response. It's not just because content has to be.
Yes.
At the end of the day, it has to be. Yeah, it has to be what you guys are great at: creative content, entertainment. You know, what I'm trying to say engagement. All of that, you guys are experts and specialists in. And whatever this dumb guy said about you, he's jealous because at the end of the day, he came on your podcast. You'd never go on his, and
Yeah.
he was using you guys because he knows that people
Of
love
course.
you guys up. And that's the reality. People love you guys up because you're real and authentic individuals. Yeah. And that's what people like. People like real stuff. They don't like fake guys like him, a fraud. Do you get it?
100%.
So
100%.
for that reason, yeah, it's always there. And I'm happy that I have you guys as friends. And you know what I'm trying to say? Anytime you guys need a response, we're there. And you know,
Sounds
it-
good.
My brother,
Sounds
appreciate that so much. Honestly, alhamdulillah. You know,
Tell,
it's
tell
amazing.
Zishan we said salam. I
He's
think
here,
we've seen him around. He's here.
yeah.
Zishan, yo, he's good. He be helping a lot with the camera and stuff. I like that. That's good.
Zishan, I want to say something about Zishan. Zishan's the man. Wallah, he does a lot of work.
He is.
My brother.
I see his production and everything is amazing. Seriously, like, I
And
really
yo, and I
admire it.
love you. I love you. What you guys doing together?
I think
Huh?
with the webcam thing, what we're gonna do, we're gonna send you the footage that we recorded on the camera. to be
Amazing.
clearer, because
Okay,
this,
Awesome,
sounds good.
awesome.
Amazing.
I think this looks a bit dead, isn't it? The webcam.
Yeah.
It does, yeah.
Well, we'll ask Apos to send his footage too. I'm asking.
I ain't gonna do nothing, man. Trust me. We
He
better
ain't gonna send it.
quick because
Get ready. He's gonna post tweets right now and talk like a lot of crap. He's gonna talk
Have
about
you given
crap.
him permission to put his this up on his channel as well?
I didn't give him no permission,
Yes,
but I'm.
can't do it.
I-
We'll bloody copyright strike the guy if he tries it, man.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna put anything, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna try to upload something. So
If he does, just
Um,
copyright strike him straight away, man.
yeah, nah, he's
Yeah, we could do that. We honestly could do
he's-
that.
I don't think he's gonna upload anything. If
Well, you give
even
us
if he does, no
permission,
one. Huh?
You give us permission. Do you want us to take a little bit, like
100
5 minutes?
100%. Yes, you have all the permission. You can post everything.
Yeah,
You can post everything.
Thank you, bro.
After tomorrow, when are we posting it? When are we gonna post it?
we're gonna post a trailer tomorrow, but we're also gonna put probably the full video on Thursday.
yeah, so the
but
full-
we're gonna link your channel as well too,
On-
so you can post your side of the
Yeah.
version as well. You know, so
So around Wednesday, like 7-8 p.m. UK time, it'll be up. But the audio will be out tomorrow.
Oh, okay, 7, 8. Okay, nice one, man.
yeah, the audio will be out.
I'll
first.
keep you updated.
Yeah.
I'll keep you updated.
All right, perfect, man. Beautiful.
My brother. Salam to you and Zishan. Inshallah, we'll see you guys in the UK. We're definitely gonna come there soon. Most definitely, we're gonna be there
Inshallah, inshallah.
Jazakumullah khair.
100% this year.
soon. Give a bicep. Let me see a bicep.
Me.
Hey, yes, yeah.
It's not.
Hey, there you
Karma,
go.
mashallah. Yo, I would love to see a boxing MMA match with Logan Paul and,
Like,
and Muhammad Hijab.
Hey yo, I'm too big, bro.
No,
Way too
man,
big.
no.
I seen you do what you did to Jedi. You scared him.
No, Jedi is not.
I saw that, man. It was so funny.
Jedi is not the guy.
My brothers, I'll text you. Send us the footage whenever you guys can. Then, all right?
All right, Jazakumullah khairan, guys.
Jazakallah, Habibi, shukran,
Beautiful.
shukran.
Have a
Thank
good
you
night.
guys.
Let me-
Thank you.
Inshallah, yeah.
My brothers.
Inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Profile when he
socially
profile when he
socially
profile when he